Hey, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight as we undertake the fifth and final episode of Vaesen. Isa here tonight. I have a wonderful cast of players, of course. If you've been following us, you've been seeing them. If you haven't, we are available on VOD on our YouTube page, so you can get caught up with that. But tonight, here is the finale as our players are racing deeper into the forest of mythical Scandinavia to see exactly what it is that has been causing this issue with the ice. There's something about a bunch of crazy wood ladies and perhaps some other weird things going on. So they're about to head in there, try to figure it out, and see if they can put a cap on this without anyone dying too severely. Because you could die not too severely, but the severity of it's the thing. Speaking of my wonderful cast, my awesome players, my wonderful friends here with me tonight, would like you to meet them. Here they are. Look at them. So good looking. Look at y'all. Good looking, talented, smart, funny, engaging. You got
Okay,
it
now
all.
it's getting a
Got
little
it all.
deep.
Oh, you.
Yeah. What's he planning? What's he planning? I'm not planning anything that would be, against the TOS. Thanks so much for joining me. One more time here. Thank you for everyone coming in, watching us. How about we go around as we usually do? Tell people who you are, what's going on, and also add in who you're playing and tell us a little bit about their frame of mind at this particular moment as you leaving the town behind and heading into the forest. We will begin with Stephanie. Stephanie, hi, how are you doing?
Good, exciting. Sad to see it end, but exciting to see what we find. I'm Stephanie. I will be playing Vendela Ekstrom, the occultist. She is doing. She's doing better than she was last time. She's still got a banged up leg from a bomb that went off, but she is feeling more secure with her friend group, if still a bit trepidatious about what answer she's going to find out in the north.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And where can people find you?
Yes, you can find me at sbrownwrites on Twitter or under the handle Lavenza in the Discord server for Superior Adventures Guild and Live from the Apocalypse.
Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing if there are any more revelations about Vendela tonight. With dark, mysterious things that may turn all your friends against you. No, it's not going to be like that. You didn't take the sword, so you're good. You're fine.
You should be good.
That's right. Thank you so much for being here again. Javante, up next. How you doing? How's Killian doing? Tell us a little bit about it.
Hey everyone, I'm doing fantastic. Killian is doing all right. He is opening up for the first time in a long time, I think, to other people, which he's not very used to. So currently he's just kind of running through that mental cycle as much as he can. As far as myself and where you can still find me, I'm still over on Twitter at Javante, Jheb as in Victor, Aunte. Doing a lot less stuff now because I'm finally relaxing. So I'm excited. I'm a little sad that this is coming to an end, but this is going to be real good.
Relaxing? What's that? You're lucky to have found that game relaxing. I like to play a couple levels of it once in a while. But
It's hard to find. It's out of print, so it's hard to.
Thank you so much, Javante, for being back here with us again one more time. Speaking of being back here, along with the brigade of felines, Kay.
Yeah. Oh, it's Ripley. Oh, there she is.
Yeah, Ripley. Yay.
She's pretending I don't
Ripley,
exist.
The Ripley monster.
So yeah, my name's Kay. You can find me at Caden Cosmos. I did one, Stephanie. You oh damn, what was I gonna say? I just
Words,
They're hard. It's okay.
I had something I wanted to say about what you said, but Javante, it's not fair. You're gonna make me cry already with Killian opening up for the first time. So yeah, I do a bunch of art stuff. And I'm just excited to be here. I play Marguerite Hansen. She's an older lady. She decided to save Elias from drowning to death in the water instead of saving herself. And then she found out that her debt had been cleared away somehow. She still doesn't know about how that happened. Still doesn't quite believe it. And now we're going after some crazy wood ladies. So who knows what new joys that'll bring.
Can you imagine if they're actually made out of wood?
Oh,
Yeah, and thought of that, eh? You'll have to give them a little bit of tender loving care.
Set them on fire?
That's right. Burn, baby, burn. I have to say that moment when you were deciding whether or not to save Elias, I literally did not know what you were going to do. I'm
Yeah.
like, it could go either way. So
I saw you brace yourself. And I was like, can I explain?
I was like, what's going? And that'll be interesting. So wonderful moment. And thank you so much for being here again. And to Ripley also, who's, I don't know, eating your pillow right now. No, just
being a cat.
Speaking of just being a cat, we have Kevin next.
Hi, that was a weird segue, but okay, here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, good to be back. Always happy to be here on Superior Adventurers Guild. I'm Kevin. I can be found online at KevRan Games. I am returning tonight with these fine, beautiful folks to finish out Vaesen. I am continuing to play Elias Johansson, who last time had a burden lifted off of his soul when we, spoiler alert, exorcised his wife's tortured spirit off of him. So he is a new lease on life. He and his best boy Reginald, the Schnauzer that may be loosely based on my actual dog, we are going to be venturing forth, and we're going to put this thing to rest. I'm happy to be here. This is going to be beautiful. I've loved this tale, so thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. And we'll have to see pictures of the Schnauzer at some point.
Oh,
so
we can arrange
validate.
that. We can arrange that.
Just so we can validate. Thanks so much for being here. Super appreciate it, as always. Kevin ran a game that I played in last Friday, La Notte Eterna, and that was a lot of fun also. So, it's nice to be able to trade off like this and, torture each other. I like it.
Yes.
Torture each other. As for me, I am the Bleakseason. You can find me at the Bleakseason on Twitter. And you can find me here at Guild Superior, running games, playing games, having a lot of fun. A few more shout outs before I move on. First and foremost, my producer, Dave, thank you so much for having produced this run of Vaesen. It's been a ton of fun working with you as usual. And we certainly appreciate all the hard work you put into this. So thank you very much. You can find Dave also on Twitter and throughout our Guild Superior sphere, our discords and all that good stuff. I would also like to give a shout out to Tabletop Audio for the music that you'll be hearing throughout the evening. They have wonderful sounds, and so while you can get into their Patreon and help support them, there's a lot of stuff that's available for free also. So check out their website, tabletopaudio.com, and the goods they produce. Very, very cool soundtracks for all sorts of games. Not finally, but next, shout out to Free League Publications, or publishing, I believe it is, who make Vaesen and tons of other fun games. If you're kind of tired of same old, you want to check out something new, or you've been following us here and you like what you've seen, Vaesen, check them out. Free League Publishing. They have tons of cool stuff. And finally, shout out to Guild Superior, our little alma mater here. All the people in it, the other producers, Miko, Andy, Ashley. Check us out. I'll be talking at the end of the game about all the stuff we got going on. And if you're interested in playing, meeting with us, hanging out in Discord, just whatever, come post some memes. Check us out. Come on in. We are it's like a nice big giant hot tub. Everyone's welcome in. It's a fully clothed hot tub. Just
the water is nice, everybody.
The water is nice. The water is nice. And with that, little recap of what's happened, and I'll give a very brief one, but I'll try to kind of encapsulate things, where you began this particular adventure on a boat that ended up in the middle of the night, suddenly being frozen in place in a very unnatural sudden burst of ice. You managed to, while you were trapped on the boat, you managed to start solving some murders. As a couple of people were starting getting killed, you realized that there was a woman on board who was a werewolf, who had been killing some people. It's still not clear exactly what was going on with that or why this was happening. It might be tied to some war that's going on currently between Finland and Russia in our world here in the 1840 Scandinavia. After that, you manage to get off the boat and head to a nearby island looking for some help. When you arrived at the small fishing town, you realized that it had recently sort of been taken over. It had become this big industrialized thing. There was whaling going on, all sorts of stuff that was very kind of unsavory. But there were also definitely flash frozen here, as you found dead bodies everywhere throughout the city of people who had just been frozen in their tracks. While you were going through the town, you managed to discover that there were apparently three women who lived out in the woods who had threatened the fishing company with dire consequences if they did not leave. Apparently, they did not. They, in fact, brought in an assassin to take care of these three women. This assassin, Brynjar, who you confronted last week. And thanks to some incredible acrobatics from Killian, who tumbled the bad guy out the window and down along the rooftop and onto the street. You managed to defeat him, at which point, you realize that inside Killian was hiding this creature, we don't know exactly what it is, but named Gallowbraid, which three of you had some past dealings with in some way, shape, or form. He agreed, since you had helped him, as this hitman Brynjar was after him also, he agreed to give each of you a little boon. Some of you managed to close off your deals with him. Some of you managed to not so much close off your deal with him, but kind of get perhaps a sort of détente. And finally, Elias, who had been haunted for a long while by what he thought was some monstrous creature that he created, but turned out to be his wife, who had made a pact with Gallowbraid to bring him success and had tried to get out of it, and so had been cursed. And so you managed to exorcise her and freed Elias from, I might have said Kevin earlier, but I meant Elias, freed Elias from this haunting. And now, having had a good night's rest, having gathered all your supplies, you are heading out into the forest looking for these crazy wood ladies, whoever they might be, in the hopes of finally understanding what this ice is all about, where it comes from, why it's here, and how you can remove this curse that seems to have fallen on this part of the world. Did I forget anything? I think we're good. I think that was most of it. Whew. I think that was most of it. All right. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. You are walking now through the forest. The forest is strange because, yeah, it is winter, but the sort of flash freeze that has occurred has basically covered all these trees in ice, basically, and exploded many of them, as whatever moisture had remained in them, instead of freezing slowly, basically just turned into ice. So a lot of the trees have cracked and exploded. Some are still cracking. As you're walking through this forest, the snow itself has a thick crust of ice, which makes it very difficult going, as you have to kind of break the snow ahead of you as you walk forward and then sink into it. You're hearing these loud cracks everywhere, reverberating through this forest as trees everywhere are sort of splintering from this frost. And all the trees, as you approach them, are covered in this thick coating of ice. They look like giant popsicles. Don't stick your tongue in them, kids. You set up early in the morning, and even though the sun is high and should be fairly mild weather at this time of year, this deep into the forest with all this ice surrounding you and whatever curse is sort of going on here is making it really, really chilling. And you're glad you brought those extra jackets from the company and all that, because you find it very difficult to keep warm. As you look at the map and you have a compass that you got off the boat before you came here, you realize that it's probably about half a day's walk to the to wherever these ladies are, in the best of circumstances. However, these are not the best of circumstances. It's kind of slow going. Around midday, when you expect it to arrive, you find that you're not quite there yet, and you are preparing to stop to make a little bit of a fire, perhaps, and get some warm food and drink inside of you to help you warm up. One of the things that you realized is that the fauna does not seem to be affected out here. You've noticed far off in the distance some howlings, maybe, and sounds of other animals. You may have seen a deer or something sort of run off into the forest. So, interestingly enough, the animals don't seem to be affected by this. As you're gathering together and are looking for a little place to kind of build a little fire, one of you will notice something very interesting, which is off in the distance, you can see what looks like a campfire, perhaps. There's a bit of a flame that seems to be flickering a little bit off in the distance. And when you kind of, stop to take stock of what's going on, you realize that under the fresh coat of ice that has settled, as pretty much every day the ice kind of reforms itself, you can see what look like remnants of a trail of blood that seems to be leading kind of in the direction of where this fire is. What do you do?
Ooh. How far away is it?
You're at this point probably a couple of hours, like 2 hours away from the location that you're heading for. This fire thing is maybe like, I don't know, 200 feet, 300 feet that away, just enough so that you can kind of see a little bit of the glare of the fire that's burning up there.
Sure. Should we investigate it and see what's going on exactly?
I mean, I think so. The moment we set a fire, they're going to see ours.
That's true. Are you
It's
okay
a bit
with that,
surprising
Killian?
to find like a fire, by the way. Like, you would have assumed that everyone out here would have been frozen, and obviously this fire is freshly made. If sorry to have interrupted, but
That's good.
Are you okay going near the fire, Killian?
I mean, if it's just like a campfire or something, I'm fine with it.
Hmm.
The difference between like a raging inferno that nobody can control and like a circle of fire on the ground.
it's definitely small, whatever it is. Does anyone have binoculars or some sort of long-distance viewing implement?
I think.
I think you grabbed the binoculars.
Yeah. One of us did, yeah.
I grabbed the binoculars.
And do you want to give it a check?
Yes.
All right, so go ahead and roll me. Let me see your character sheet. So go ahead and roll me a not observation, sorry, a vigilance, but you can add 2
Nice.
for the
Excellent.
All right. That's good.
I like that you have a cooking pot.
You never know. That is 2 success.
All right, that's quite good enough. As you grab your binoculars and check it out, you notice that further up near the fire, there's a bit more blood that you can see on the ground, but then you can clearly see a form of what looks like perhaps a person on the other side of the fire lying down with their backs to it. And they look like they're not moving. They're lying there on the other side of this fire. The fire is very low. It looks like it's about to die down almost. And the person looks like they're in some sort of dire situation, as they don't appear to be wearing much clothing. You can see a little bit of it, but not a lot. But there's definitely one person lying out there near this fire.
It looks like one person. They're not really dressed for the weather, and I think they're sleeping. The fire's low, so it couldn't have been started too long ago, but they might need help, or it might be a trap, but I might be leaning towards help.
It's a trap. Oh, sorry.
The trees whisper it's a trap.
That's it. A voice on the wind from somewhere. Well, if it is someone in need, we have to investigate it. But it does seem odd that it's right in our path. It's a little bit too coincidental, if you ask me.
We have to talk about the concept that we have to help anyone that's in need. Like, I don't know if that's necessarily in our job description.
But you're wasting daylight currently, so
But there is a
I
fire.
want to make a
so-
decision.
Yeah, it could be Thekla or Per Bergman.
Yeah. I hope it's more Thekla. I'm gonna be honest. Bear sucks. I talked to him a bit. He was not great.
Yeah, but we also think that she's a werewolf, so...
Well, decision time. Do we want to try to investigate?
I mean, I think we have to. At the very
Yeah.
least, we can use the fire if they no longer need it.
Very
I will say,
efficient-minded
if
of you.
Thekla was the werewolf I met below deck, she didn't attack me, so.
That's true. That's true.
So you will approach.
I think we will. Do we want to send somebody beforehand?
I was going to ask, will someone be stealthing over to check it out? Or?
I can do that in case it's Thekla, since I'm assuming she was the werewolf.
Okay. Might I suggest you take Reginald? He's got a
Sure.
nose for these sorts of things.
Yeah, I can take Reginald.
All right. So you and Reginald forge ahead. Give me a stealth roll. Reginald would help, I guess, in the stealth, or is it just in vigilance?
He gives a bonus to vigilance and close combat, actually.
Okay, so he's not going to give you a bonus on the stealth, but you look like you're probably doing fine. on
My
the stealth.
stealth's pretty high.
He's also good at. He has a scent ability. He can maybe
Mhm.
determine if there's something amiss.
That is just one this time.
That's fine. That is all you need. As you kind of cut through the forest and are moving very carefully, because every time you put your foot down, the ice cracks, and so you're kind of trying to sort of time it. You wait till you hear like a tree kind of crack, and then you take a few steps, and you kind of manage to do it. It takes a little bit of time because of the way you're doing it, but as you approach, you come to see, and you can check out the mappage. As you approach,
Oh. Okay.
you see a fire that is dying. You see what appears to be a woman with short blonde hair, dressed in rags that are kind of ripped apart. There's a trail of blood that follows her from the woods, and it looks like they would be coming sort of from the direction of the shore originally. And go ahead and make a vigilance roll, and Reginald will help with this one, I think.
Okay. So he gives +1, you said?
+2, I think, right?
+2. Oh. Two again.
Awesome. So you see a little bit further away from her, there's another body that is sort of over here. This person is kind of half covered in snow. They look like maybe they're tied to a tree that's there, the remnants of the tree, and then they look like they've basically been out here for a while. They're quite covered in snow and a little bit of frost. And with the extra success that you get, you recognize that body as that of Pear. He looks like he's been worked over. His shirt's completely gone, and he's got claw marks, and he looks like he was perhaps killed very slowly. What would you like to do?
I'm going to creep back to let my group know.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of backtrack through my steps and just encourage Reginald to go with me. And I get back to camp and be like,
He
so,
follows.
That's Thekla. And Herr Bergman's corpse is tied to a tree, and it looks like he had a very, very slow demise. So,
I'm almost regretting what I just said.
pass the dead.
Is she dead as well?
I don't think so. She wasn't covered in snow and frost like Per was. He looked like he'd been there for a while.
But she just had some blood loss and then just passed out in front of a fire?
I mean, if we're assuming she's the same werewolf from under the boat, she took the brunt of the blast instead of me, so.
Well, I mean, I did manage to steal, like flips the things around, like flips his pack around, unzips it. I have, like, a lot of suits and stuff in here. We could probably make, like, bindings out of that and just tie her hands up if she's still alive.
Yeah, we can do that to talk to her. I just figured I'd come back here and tell you guys so I didn't wake her up on her own and have her have a bad reaction to being surprised.
Well, that's probably wise. I think we should progress forward. I don't see there being any other danger about. But to be sure, can I reach out with my sixth sense to see if there's any presence of Vaesen or magic?
Yeah, there is. Absolutely.
Okay.
If there's a werewolf, if Tekla's a werewolf, that would probably do it. But there's certainly something around that camp that's got that old scent of old Vaesen. That could be like the new deodorant, old Vaesen.
Well, whatever we do, if we're going to be doing anything dangerous, I'll probably just try to be sneaking around. I've already been, defenestrated myself initially. I'd rather not try to do anything like that again.
No, that's fair.
I think once is enough, yeah.
Yes.
Good use of the word defenestrated there.
It doesn't get used enough,
At least
to be honest.
once, man. I have to do it once.
So, if you're approaching and trying to be stealthy, please go ahead and give me a stealth roll. I will put your bonhommes here, and then you can sort of place them wherever you want, however you think you're approaching this situation.
Do I need to re-roll for stealth again?
No, you're fine. It gets
Okay.
to last for the scene, yeah.
I have one success for stealth.
Good. That's all you need. Doing pretty good.
See here.
I have 2 successes.
I also have 2 successes.
Oh, so sneaky.
So sneaky. So tell me, how do you want to approach this situation then?
Killian will probably move first because he's like, I'm smaller, whatever, this will work for me. And just uses the brush to kind of skirt along the side until he's close enough that he can see her, and then like motions for others to move along the same path he did.
Yeah, you can go ahead and set up your characters whichever approach you want to use. You can come in from like any angle that you want, or however you want.
Here.
I think I would want to go around this way so that if she does, like, I think it'd be better to not go at her back and to, like, if she looks up, she can see me without completely scaring the shit out of her.
Wise move. I think that Reginald and I are just going to move straight in towards the fire. That way she'll notice us first, and if there's anything, we'll have her surrounded.
Well, so as you move in, then if you're gonna start moving in, you start approaching and you realize she's not moving. Though by the time you get closer, like sort of nearer the fire, you can see she's definitely breathing, but she has several wounds. Her body has wounds all over. She's bleeding, and there's just a bunch of little wounds. And you remember the shrapnel that exploded in the boat. So she's got tons of these little nicks and cuts and wounds that are just kind of bleeding freely. And there's quite a bit of blood that's amassed. And you kind of get the feeling the only thing that's probably been keeping her alive is whatever supernatural sort of power and constitution she has, and that fire, which is currently kind of dying. So, you know that she's probably like on the edge. But as you approach, she doesn't move. She doesn't react. So
I'll just kind of give a glance to the others, and then I'll do a slow nod, and then I'm going to approach Thekla. Miss Soonborn, are you all right?
and you see a slight movement of the head, like turning to hear better.
I'm Mr. Johansson. I was on the ship with you. Are you all right? I've come to help.
She very, very slowly and with a lot of difficulty turns her head. Here, I'll put her. Turns her head over to you, and she looks incredibly drawn, incredibly pale, very weak. A few cuts in her face. Also, she looks at you and she goes, "Am I hallucinating?"
Surely not. Don't
Reginald
be
said,
afraid. We've come to help.
I'm not afraid. I just think I'm dead.
Not quite yet. You and I are not in the woods yet.
Not out of the woods yet.
Or no,
Not
we're
in the woods yet.
yet.
So what
I'll
do you want
continue
to
to
do?
move. I'm just slowly moving closer to her this whole time.
She kind of opens up an eye and looks at you, but it's clear she doesn't have the strength really to do much. What would you like to do?
I'll just look to the others and I'll give a look as if to say, not vocally, but just as, should I approach further?
Uh,
No, you go ahead.
Margaret's gonna start moving in as well, and try to assess. She doesn't have any skill in medicine, but she has been hanging out with the doctor quite a lot. But
Well, she's in need of some gin. You can tell her.
Yes, give her gin.
Yeah.
I did bring a bottle of vodka.
No.
what would you prefer? So yeah, I wanna kind of assess her situation, and I'm not at this point. I'm not sneaking at all. I'm trying to make my
Mhm.
presence known, and like coming in with hands up, and
She doesn't really react. Like she's just lying
Yeah.
there and like barely looking at you now.
So I want to check her out.
All right. So you can go ahead and do a medical check, and I do believe you have bandages with you, which will give you a +2
Awesome.
bonus.
So precision.
Killian's just in the brush watching the two people that he was like, yeah, sneak around, just go out, and just.
Yeah, you had the doctor's bag, the medical equipment, so you get a +2.
Stellar. Okay. That did not work. I will push it 100%.
All righty. Go ahead.
I don't know. I guess I want to choose that later, but okay. Oh, 1 success. Oh.
All right. So give yourself a condition. You manage to, so she's broken, and with your 1 success, you manage to cure one of her conditions and bring her back from broken. Basically, you bandage her. You can tell that there's still silver shrapnel inside of her, so those wounds are not going to close until that's removed. There's no way you can do that kind of operation here. But you wrap some bandages around her and you stop the biggest sort of issues. You kind of sit her up and you get the fire going again to warm her up. I'm assuming you put some clothes around her, maybe things of that nature. So you spend maybe like 20-30 minutes kind of getting that fire going, making some tea or coffee and a bit of food, and while you tend to her and kind of bandage the worst of it. And after a little while, she's up and kind of conscious again. Does anyone check on Pear while you're there, or you
Closer
just
to him,
like he's
so
dead? So
I'll go over and investigate that mess since they seem to have that club.
all right. So it looks like he was very crudely sort of bound to this tree, these roots of trees that are kind of sticking out. And as I was saying, his shirt was ripped. You can find it like in the snow, not too far from him. And he was killed very slowly. Basically, he died from the loss of blood from the various wounds that he received, and not from some killing blow across the throat or anything like that. It looks like he's been there for at least a good 24 hours, as he's pretty much frozen solid. And his face is this rictus of like he died in horrible pain. By this time, oh yeah, sorry. And as you examine him, you can see that he's got a number of tattoos on his body, one on each shoulder. There are stars on each of his shoulders, and there are other various tattoos with Cyrillic writing, like Russian writing, on his chest and things of that nature. And he's pretty buff. He's pretty cut for a journalist.
Yeah.
By this
Yeah.
by this point, Thekla has sort of come back to you. You've given her some tea, and she's sipping from that and shivering a little bit, but is at least sort of come around. And she looks up and said, Did you come out here just to find me? Were you hunting me? Why are you here?
We weren't hunting you, but we were hunting. Luckily, we came upon you because you look like you've been through an ordeal. You made quite a show on the ship, if I do say so myself.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was hoping to avoid having to do anything that would upset people, but I don't know, that first night that we were on the ship, I just, when Pear came after me, I kind of knew he'd recognized me from somewhere, and he was insistent a couple of times. He tried to accost me. I was just trying to avoid him, and when he came after me that night, I don't know what came over me. I just, all the anger and that I'd had inside of me suddenly just sort of ripped out, and next thing I knew, I was just killing this sailor that was there and grabbing him and jumping off the boat and just running and coming here. I'd never done anything like that before. I didn't even, and she's looking at her hands. She's like, what happened? Did I turn into some sort of...
I'm going to put a reassuring hand on her shoulder, and I'm going to say, evil is a burden that some of us carry. It's not exactly something that we avoid. It's an eventuality, unfortunately. Because of what happened to you, Ryakoski, I believe that you have caused much harm. But I don't necessarily think that harm is your fault. Like I said, we're here to help you. But we need to know exactly what's happening here. We need to know about the list of names and what purposes that you had behind them, so that we can stop what's about to happen.
I don't know anything about a list of names. When Pear came after me and he accosted me, he yelled at me in Russian. He spoke at me in Russian, and it kind of tipped me off. By the way, I do want to remind you, and perhaps this has just kind of got lost, but the very first night you were on the boat when all this happened was full moon.
Okay.
I says, I just knew that he was after me. I didn't know who he was. I didn't know what he wanted. This thing took over me. When I brought him here, and I started realizing who he was, I was able to make him talk. He was, him and the other one, the woman,
Miss Klein.
Yes, they were Russian agents. They work for something called, and the GM has to go and look at his notes.
I almost started writing that.
The GM has to look at their notes. What a strange name for a clandestine organization.
Yeah, I know. Damn it. Where is it? Oh, yeah. They work for something called Third Section, which is some sort of intelligence unit in the Russian army. They were sent to help foment resistance to Norway and Sweden becoming involved in the war in Finland, and he himself was being sent to Sweden, and I guess perhaps the list of names were people that were already sympathetic to the cause that he could contact, and his compatriot was going to Norway. His name was Zerdev Denisovich, and the woman's name was Yuliana Tarasnova. He told me this after I spent some time, I guess, torturing him, and that's when I decided to go back for the other woman. These people were responsible for the deaths of several people, close friends of mine, and if they knew who I was, or they recognized me from something like that, I guess he felt he recognized me or something from somewhere. My team encountered a group of Russian soldiers that were trying to infiltrate behind our lines, and one of them turned out to be some sort of beast. He transformed into this giant sort of wolf-headed beast, and it basically killed everyone before we managed, just by pure luck, to kill him. And I'm the only one who survived that, although at the time I thought I was dead for sure. I had been severely injured by him, and the next day when I woke up, I found my wounds all gone, all healed already. I was just trying to get away from the war and get away from all that. If he hadn't come after me, I wouldn't have known who he was. I wouldn't have done any of this.
I'll look up to the others, and then I'll say to her while I'm looking at all of them, well, you've confirmed our suspicions. We have found clues about this story. Don't worry, we believe you. We know that you're a victim in this just as much as we have been. But is there anything else that you can tell us about what is happening here on this island?
I don't know anything about this place or this island. I literally just came here because it was the closest land that I could see once I got Pear, and once I was injured in the explosion on the boat, I just came back here because I knew this is where I'd found a safe place to hide earlier. I have no clue what's happening here, or this ice that's suddenly encased. I don't know anything about that.
Seems like this all might have been a tragedy of coincidences all colliding.
I don't know. I just am I cursed to be this way forever then?
There are ways to help you.
And what about you? What are you doing? And she looks at you, and I'm very sorry. I get the feeling that perhaps I hurt you, or I confronted you at some point.
You confronted me. I think we took each other by surprise in the engine room of the ship. No, you did not hurt me. You prevented me from being hurt a lot worse than I was.
You jumped on a grenade and got blown to shit. Killian
that would
says
explain-
from the brush.
That would explain why I feel like shit.
Yep. Would explain the silver in your body.
So they knew.
Oh, Miss Klein knew, and she was taken out by her own bomb, so they are both accounted for, it seems like.
At least there's some justice. The things their people did to my friends. But look, I don't know any more about this, and if you have a way of helping me, please do it. I can't stay this way forever. I don't want to be this creature. I don't want to do this. If there's anything you can do for me, please.
Benla's gonna go through her notes from where she wrote like down all the clues, and she's gonna be like, a way to lift the spell that we found was addressing a werewolf by their true name in the light of a full moon, and that will lift the curse.
Well, that's something. It's a month away from now, but it's something.
It would also give you time to heal, because chances are if we did that now, and then your injuries would likely...
There was a doctor on the ship, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's on the island as well.
Oh, that's great. And she looks like she's trying to get up a little bit.
No, wait. Stay where you are. I'll move over to Marguerite, and I'll say, just between she and I, almost conspiratorially, do you think she has a month? Do you think we can get her back to Dr. Ackerman?
Oh. I mean, she is healing quite a lot, but she has a lot of silver in her that I can't take it out.
There is an easier way to do this as well, but I just trail off.
I don't like that. I want to help her. I don't. It took us this long to get here, and traveling with someone who's injured. I could set off a flare.
If the good doctor's paying attention, he might be a bit he might be a bit lost with spirits of his own.
You do, however, something that would occur to you is if you're going to um, a lodge or some sort of place where wise women are, or something like that, they might have something there to be able to help.
I look up to the time of day.
You got time to make it out there, still with some daylight.
We need to decide one way or the other. So, what does everyone think? I say, turning and addressing everyone.
Well, I mean, we could try to fashion a sled out of some of the log and the rope we have and drag her along with us to our destination.
I can walk. I can walk.
Are you sure?
Yes. I just need, and she looks around and she breaks a branch off of the tree. I just need something to lean on. I'll be okay. I got this far. These clothes and the food you've given me have given me some strength. I feel it return a little bit. I don't know that I'd be much use in a scuffle, but I can certainly walk enough to get wherever we need to go.
I mean, if we're going to help her, then we might as well, go all in on helping her portion of things. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just, helping people out of the kindness of my heart is something I'm trying to get used to.
That's fair.
I'm gonna hand him 10 krona.
making
Never mind,
out
now
like
we're
a
back in
bandit.
business.
What about Mr. Bergman? Should we bury him?
I mean, I think he got what he deserved.
Well, judging by the Russian tattoos on him, he certainly wasn't her Bergman.
Will he be a problem in the future?
Your understanding of the way the werewolf stuff works is that if he wasn't dead, he might have become cursed.
But he's
since
definitely
he's dead,
gone.
he's dead.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, unless he comes back as a vampire werewolf, and then I make
Oh,
a whole
boy.
story about that.
Boy.
Vampire werewolf on the revenge path against all of you. Oh, what are you guys doing next month?
Yeah, Vaesen 3. Here we go,
Reason
baby.
3. Return of the Mac. Return of Sergey.
If we want to be sure, I can just stab him in the heart with my dagger. Like I did with Miss Klein.
Or perhaps it's fitting that the irony of this would be that the snow would finish him.
Looks
Mhm,
pretty
he is
finished.
finished. Yeah. I just meant
Let's.
in case he turned into something.
I think he's gone.
Okay.
Let's get you up, Miss Soonborn. Let's not waste any more time. We have a date with 3 ladies in the woods. So
If I had a ruble for every time I've heard. So
I know
What
you'd
rules
only
would you
have
have?
2, which
Exactly.
isn't a lot, but it's kind of weird to happen twice. Right?
exactly. Along with her, and she is stronger than she was a little earlier, and you get the feeling that if you check out like her wounds and stuff, they look like they're always trying to heal, and then the silver stops it. So her body is definitely trying to sort of heal. So she's always got like these little spurts of strength and energy that sort of return to her now that she's got some clothing and whatnot. So you will make it through the rest of the woods without too much of an issue. You see it a little bit before you reach it, but you can see off in the distance after a couple hours of walking the peak of what appears to be a lodge. And when you finally break through the forest and see the place, you are immediately reminded of the painting of Miss Olin, which featured a very, very similar sort of building, although it was on the side of the edge. And perhaps I can show you that painting again, just to, if I have it. Actually, there we go. So this was the painting that you'd seen Miss Olin that Miss Olin had done. The building is very similar, and there's this symbol that she had sort of added later. And as you break through the forest and see this building, and there's like a little shed in the back, but there's clearly blood on the front steps of this lodge. What would you like to do?
Is there any sound that might be unnatural?
Nope, just the trees cracking, the odd animal off in the distance.
So do we want to just like knock on the door of the blood-stained lodge and then just see like, hi, we're here for tea and biscuits. What do we want to do?
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
I mean, I'm more than willing to put on the old Killian charm, just making sure.
I meant to ask, given that it's similar to the painting with that rune on it, and Vendela had taken the Book of Runes from their library with her. I'm assuming if she flipped through that, she could find that rune and identify what it meant, right? I can roll for it.
Sure, give me actually roll on your magic, would you?
Oh. It's just one.
That's good enough. So as the lot of you are discussing whether you should just walk up to this bloodstained door and kind of knock on it, you realize that Vendela has started walking towards the building. And when you sort of rush up to her to try to, stop her or whatever, you see that her eyes are rolled back in her head, and you see just the white of her eyes, and she seems to be kind of interacting with things. Vendela, as you have opened up your senses and reached out, you are taken back to that beach that you had seen earlier. You see that the men that were approaching have now been disintegrated. There's only bits and pieces of them left, and the boat that they came on is burning. You're holding your U branch. Someone comes up behind you and puts their arms around you and looks down at you, and someone who looks like your mother, but just slightly different and perhaps a little bit older, looks at you, turns you around and brings you back to the village. And in time, you see the people of the village painting these symbols on the huts around the village and on rocks and things like that. And you kind of remember how you'd seen that when you'd gone to that village years later. You turn around and ask the mother that kind of looks like your mother, but a little different. And you say, what are they doing? And when you speak, you have the voice of a child. And she says, the runes have powers. And when they're bound to other runes, their powers grow and change. Here, take this rune here, Isa. And she draws a straight line with the paint. Isa is ice. On its own, it's dangerous. Means a stasis, stagnation, inability to change or grow. But if you do this, and she draws two other lines on it, it becomes the Algi's rune, the elk. It's a symbol of protection. And if you draw a circle like this around it, a shield, then it becomes a very powerful rune of protection. It'll keep us safe from these men. Remember it well. It can protect you from magic meant to harm you. You need simply draw it. Someday, our people will no longer live here, Svana. One day we will have to return to the Emerald Isle, the place where all elves come from, and back to the land of the Tuatha. You will hear the call someday, call of our land, of our queen. When she calls, you must answer. Until then, these runes will keep us safe. As this is going on for Vendela, a lot of you see her approaching this building, and when you catch up to her, like I said, she looks like she's not there, and she looks like she's seeing things and interacting with things. Do you do anything?
I get my rifle ready
You
in
shoot her.
case something's about to happen. Yeah, I blow her away, and that's it. No,
Oh no.
no,
That's
I
it.
just
She was
have.
obviously the cause. of
That's it,
everything.
no.
Sword with me.
No, I just I have my rifle ready, and I'm just priming it and making sure everything's ready to go. And I'm looking around just to make sure nothing else is happening.
You don't spot anything else going on, okay?
I turned to Killian and I'm like, I thought she was the most normal of us. What is going on?
You know, I've yet to really think that pretty much anybody here is normal per se.
She's approaching the door and she's about to push on it. Do you do anything?
Ma, I probably wouldn't recommend doing that.
If you
I'll
don't
walk
stop
up-
her, she pushes the door.
I'll walk up to be next to her. That way, when she pushes the door, I'm ready to go in with her.
She pushes the door open, and inside
The
you
rifle comes up.
find a wide open area. There are still torches burning in sconces. You can see over on one side there are all sorts of herbs and plants growing. There are like these big pots and then these sort of wooden frames, and there's all these sorts of different kind of herbs that are kind of hanging from that and sort of growing. On the other side, there appears to be like a little reading nook down here with 3 chairs. And over here is like a dining table with 3 chairs, and there's a bunch of different books and papers and other herbs sort of splayed out around it. And you can see in the center of the room a magical circle, and there is a woman lying here dead. And you can see a little bit further away another one down there. As you walk into this, Vendela, you're moving through this space now, and you're kind of experiencing it. It's like you're looking at yourself from outside your body, and you're seeing yourself move through. And as you move through it, you recognize so many of these things. Some of the books, you recognize some of the symbols, you recognize some of the herbs, you recognize all these things, and you feel a very strong sense of familiarity with it. Not like you've lived it personally, but you remember seeing certain things in your mother's things, certain herbs that she was growing in some pots. You remember seeing books that she had, or images that she would have painted and things of that nature. And a lot of what you see around here as you're walking around this room has that sense of familiarity to you, kind of like smelling the perfume of someone you know well, but on somebody else, sort of thing. Like it just sort of, you know, that, you know, you've not done this, you've not seen this, but you have that familiarity with it. And as Vendela approaches the center, you see her kind of drop to her knees, and Vendela, you come to, remembering everything that you've just seen, and you're kneeling in the middle of this space now, inches away from this protective circle that's drawn on the floor. And everything you've just experienced stays with you. And again, you feel that familiarity with all these things, and you kind of recognize a lot of the same things that your mother had, or that you saw connected to her.
I was just gonna open a book. I'm gonna assume I looked a little odd just now. Okay.
Are
Yeah.
you here? Are you back?
More so than usual. Like,
More so. Yes, more so than usual. No, I'm back. It's very strange how memories work.
What did you see?
Have you been here before?
I've never been here before, but a lot of the things here, it reminds me of my mom. Those are the same plants I remember her growing in the garden, and some of the trinkets on the table, and I think I saw one of her memories. about the runes. Some of the runes of how to make one of protection. In the circle, that it doesn't have the same symbol she saw, does it?
No, this appears to be a different kind of circle. Anyone who wants is welcome to make a learning check here. Killian, probably not. Like, I don't think your character is necessarily well versed in occult matters, but the other three of you might have had occasion to come across certain things. So you can make a learning check if you want. You can tell me what you get.
Sure.
I
Well,
think
what-
instead of making that check, Elias is noticing that there's only 2 women in here.
Yeah.
And weren't there 3?
In fact,
Three.
everything that you see in the room is for 3 people. There's 3 chairs. There's 3 places at the kitchen table. So,
Was-
all right, let's go around. Tell me what you're doing. What is Elias doing? What do you
He's
want to
just-
go check on this room?
He's just taking that in, and he's got the rifle not all the way up, but he's just got it in a position. He's just slowly gazing around the room, trying to see if anything's going to happen.
Okay. What is Killian doing?
Is it warm in the room?
No, it's kind of getting cold. The fire in the earth, which is over here, there's like a big sort of fire pit, like a long open fire pit. It's mostly embers at this point. Like it hasn't been tended to in about 24 hours. So it's chilly in here. You can see your breath.
If there's like any wood laying around, he's going to
Yeah, right
Very-
here, there's like a little roll of woods. Of wood.
carefully step around that and like just you see him like pick up the wood and just very gingerly like put it into the fire, and as soon as it lands, just move back like
Okay, so you're doing the wood. The other two, you were doing your learning checks.
I failed mine, so I have other things I'm happy to do. But
And Vendela?
I got 1.
Yeah, so when you see it, you sort of recognize it. You have read something about it. So this is not a protection per se. It's a summoning circle. Circle that would be used to summon something.
oh,
One of the things that you notice is the woman who is dead there, just on this end of it, appears as she was, as she fell, perhaps, or whatever, to have erased part of it, or like sort of broken it.
Oh, this
What do
one bad. You're not supposed to break those. Oh god. I'm pretty sure that's a summoning circle. And you're not supposed to smudge the symbols once you draw them, and her body it smudged them. So whatever they summoned, it's out there.
did she
Maybe-
smudge it before or after the spells stuff?
I doubt she would have done it before on purpose.
If she was injured during it somehow and fell.
What do you want to check out? Tell me what you want to look at.
I want to
There's a lot of
check out
information.
the bodies if I could, but
Okay, not a problem. What is Elias going to do?
Elias, he's going to almost just kind of off to the side. He's going to say, here, and Reginald will come up and heal next to him. And the
Mhm.
two of them are going to start looking about the inside of the lodge, trying to find the third person.
Okay,
nice.
Killian, you get the fire going. It's starting to crackle and pop. You feel a bit of heat coming out of it.
seeing that everyone else is kind of busying themselves around the area, Killian is going to check out. Are these doors, by the way, for these rooms on the sides? are they?
Curtains.
Curtains?
You mean
Okay.
this here?
That, but also like the two next to them.
Yeah, so
Like the
these
one-
are curtains. These are curtains also.
Okay, so he's going to head into through the curtain and then probably try to look at the room on the bottom right.
Okay. What's your put your tokens where you want to go. And Marguerite, you're checking the body, and Vendela.
I think Vendela is going to. Are these like scrolls and books off to the side here where this like
Yeah,
knife
so
is?
pretty much anything you see on the map is there. So there's
Okay.
a little as you take a look around. So there's like some sort of water skin here, perhaps. There's some scrolls and books. There's a knife there. There's a wand here. There are some blue gems that are scattered around the room. There are some violets here. These are these are 3 braziers. One of them is lit. The other 2 are dark now.
Yeah, I think Vendela's going to look at these books and see if she can figure out what they were summoning.
Okay. We'll start with Vendela. The first woman that you see there is sort of normal-looking woman, maybe in her 30s, dressed in some sort of ceremonial robe with a leather cloak over her, and all her clothes look handmade, like everything's leather or wool. You can see there's a spinning wheel up there, so they were clearly making all their stuff, sort of just living off the land kind of thing. She looks like she's been shot in the head. From where she fell, it looks like the shot probably came from somewhere around there, and she was shot and really just sort of crumbled and fell sort of where she was shot. And when you check this one out, she looks like she was shot in the back. Looks like perhaps she was trying to run towards the back of the room. And she was shot again from a distance in the back. Looking in the back room, so Elias, you find a room with a single bed. There are a few items of clothing, some more sort of druidic, shamanistic sort of items. There are books, there are plants that are hanging off the various, next to the windowsill, things of that nature, the candles, etc. You don't find much, but it looks like one person was inhabiting this room. Like the footlocker's got, kind of just a few pieces of clothing, and there's just a one chair. And as I said, sort of a single bed. In the other room where Killian is, you see, first of all, give me a fear check, Killian.
Oh, good. All right then. It's been a bit since I did a fear check.
So it's your empathy or logic, whichever one you want. You are muted now.
I was talking silently.
Okay.
2 successes.
Awesome. So as you open the curtains and the black cat screams and jumps out towards where you are and runs through your legs, you are startled but not afeared, just slightly surprised as the cat that was hiding in the furs on the bed just sort of takes off and goes off running into the other room. And Reginald goes and like kind of takes off on the other side. And they meet halfway and they're kind of having a stare down. Meanwhile, Killian, in the room, you see a double bed, and there's a few different things in the locker. There's like sets of clothing of like 2 separate sets of clothing, 2 different sizes, one for a more heavy-set woman and one for a smaller woman, laid throughout this area. And like I said, it's a double bed, so it looks like there were 2 occupants. They would take this room. The Reginald and the cat are now having a stare down contest. In the middle here, Vendela, as you look through the different books and things that are lying about, you find several old scrolls. They detail the summoning of Landvitir, which are nature's spirit. They're chthonic guardians of specific grounds, such as wild places or farms, specific habitats, such as mountains, forests, and lakes. The different species of Landvetier are sometimes distinguished according to the different spheres of nature with which each associates, such as forest, freshwater, saltwater, the mountains. These books talk about how it is important for humans to cultivate good relationships with them, since they have power over the natural forces and animals under their care and could cause both good and bad luck for humans who interfered with the places and creatures under their watch. As you read further, you find annotations next to a specific entry in one of the books. It talks about a powerful Landvitier whose domain is ice called Scotty, who can be both a destructive power and one of preservation.
Oh dear. Okay.
One of the notes that you find, handwritten note, a Landvitier kept inside a protective circle can be easily controlled, especially if what they're asked to do fits with their own goals. If the circle is broken, however, they'll seek to possess a living being and then become uncontrollable.
I think I'm getting a sense of what happened here.
You find also, amidst all of this, you find a summoning incantation. You find a description of a ritual to summon Scotty. Do you want this information now, or?
Sure, I'll take it now.
So the incantation to summon Scotty to be chanted 3 times. Once as each brazier is lit, in each flame place a sprig of spring violet. The incantation is the wind from the north that blows ill in winter and sweetly in summer. Scothy, goddess of the ice, Scothy, bring forth your winds, chill the hearts of our enemies, of your enemies. Settle your frozen mantle upon the land, bring all to a still. Scothy, goddess of the ice, we beseech thee, blow wild and free. For the ritual, you must prepare a skjold with care. If it is but slightly broken, Scothy will rage beyond your control. Each beseecher should clutch a gemstone as blue as ice. Blood from each must be drawn with a blade consecrated in the coldest water. Once the gemstones are slick with satyr blood, wash your hands with blessed ice wine. Place 1 gemstone in each fire, and as the blood burns, intone the incantation. If your skjold holds, Scothy will be yours to command until a new moon has passed. Should Scothy escape, you must redraw the skjold and lure her back to it. This is easier said than done. How does one capture the wind? There are several ways you may attempt this. At her neck, Scothy wears a favor from Unferth, the Frost King. Scothy will pursue the jewel into hell itself. Bring it to the skjold and close it behind her. You may do a ritual of sending if you know her real name. You may thus force her to come to you. Above all, Scothy abhors aberrations of nature. If she senses one near her lair, she will come to hunt it down. Thus you might also lure her to a skjold and close it behind her. Once she is in the circle, command her or banish her by intoning the original summoning, but by altering the last line. Return to the north and howl no more. The braziers should be extinguished one after the other, and the gemstones removed from the fire, wrapped in leather or wool, and buried in fresh earth. Finally, summer bloom should be crushed and sprinkled over the summoning circle. Wait until the next dawn to sweep the crushed summer bloom and circle away. But beware, for she will be wroth, and her memory is as long as the wind blows.
Awesome.
I found clothes. You hear from the back room.
I much prefer what you found, Killian. Oh,
I also found a cat.
is it okay?
It's fine. Reginald has kept us safe.
Yeah, peeking through the curtain.
Oh, poor kitty. Oh, okay.
What'd you find?
They summoned nature spirit of ice, Scotty, and based on everything, I think they were summoning it just as Brynjar came by with his gun, and when he killed one of them and she fell and broke the circle. I think the third lady is missing because Scotty hopped into her and ran off. And that's how everything got covered in ice.
Crap.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. And it's not going to be easy to fix this. Oh,
I
Can we
posted
call
the
it
information
back?
you just found in the
we can.
clues tab.
It's not going to be easy, but there are ways to undo this, to send her back. And I'm going to share with them the information I found in that.
To lure her back, you have some choices. At her neck, Scothy wears a favor from Unferth, the Frost King. Scothy will pursue the jewel into hell itself, bring it to the skjold, and close it behind her. You may do a ritual of sending if you know her real name. You may thus force her to come to you. Above all, Scothy abhors aberrations of nature. If she senses one near her lair, she will come to hunt it down. Thus, you might also lure her to a skjold and close it behind her.
Do we know any aberrations of nature? This is a great setup for a joke, but no.
Werewolves aren't aberrations of nature, are they?
I was gonna say, technically speaking, a werewolf is a supernatural entity, right? So
Right.
supernatural.
Is it aberration, though?
Well, humans and wolves are different species. They're not supposed to be...
Mixed.
Yeah, it is a curse that basically infringes the laws of nature.
So what you're saying is that she'll come to us pretty soon, then.
Oh, no. Oh, we should
Elias checks the rifle again,
get
and
ready.
he says, I have one shot with this.
Yo,
And
what?
he pulls out his revolver,
Hold
6
it.
with this, and he puts it back. But this, and he pouts his chest where the Bowie knife is hidden beneath. It never runs out.
Great. All right. So to send her back, we need to. Oh God.
I posted the
Yep.
clues in the tab.
Thank you.
So you would think that very likely, in order for Scothy to sense Thekla, she would have to transform.
Okay. All right. She's not on her way back yet.
Well, Miss Soonborn, is there a way to force your ailment? Do one of us need to yell at you in Russian? Or...
I don't know. I've never done it before. It only happened the other night, but it was a full moon, which I guess might have something to do with it. Is this something I'm supposed to be able to control? I've only been a werewolf for 24 hours. I'm not sure. For 48 hours, I'm not too. I didn't control it before. I just, after I came back after the explosion, I barely made it back to my camp before I turned back into the way I am now, and I don't know. Is this something I'm supposed to be able to control?
I don't begin to presume.
And if I do transform, will I try to kill you?
And you didn't try to kill me before.
Why not? I don't know why I wouldn't have.
I mean, it's complicated, but
Vendela, we have all laid our secrets bare.
Yes.
You must speak with the others what you have told me.
yes. Okay. My mother was one of the Holdefolk. One of the snow elves, rather.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm kind of a mix of human and Vaesen. So I think when we saw each other in the hull of the ship, you kind of smelled something on me that wasn't quite human, and that's perhaps what made you not attack me outright.
Strange. I barely recall any of it. Everything is sort of a blur. It's very strange to be in the skin of this thing.
Can't even imagine. That sounds very frightening.
if I can help, I will. But I don't know. I
Okay.
don't know how I can do this. Um,
Plan B, Killian, can you steal a necklace off of a scary winter being?
I mean, you're asking a lot, but probably.
That's my boy.
If she's distracted, 100% I can.
Well, I don't think we'll need to do that because if Thekla is offering to help, all she would need to do is transform, and if Skadi considers this her lair, Skadi will come to us, since we don't know where she is. We'll need 3 people to do the ritual, is what it says. But it made a note of it needing satyr blood. Now, does that mean we need 3 people with magical blood to bleed on the gemstones, or?
no, but recall that part of that ritual that's described there is this ritual to summon her. You're looking to banish her, right? So there's some things you don't have to do.
She's already here. We pretty much just need to call her and then banish her.
And trap her in the circle again.
Yeah, and
Right.
then once you do that, you intone the original summoning, but by altering the last line. Then you extinguish the brazier, so you assume you have to light them ahead of time. The gemstones have to be put back in it, essentially, since you have to remove them from the fire and wrap them in. So you have to do that part that's in. I'll put it in a box down there so that it's clear. But that's basically the
But-
part here is what you need to be doing.
So is Scothy, is this her true name? Is that how we're able to summon her?
Certain it's not a true name.
Is there anything?
So the
Here
other 3,
within-
right? So the first 3 are choices to bring.
Sure.
You can
Yep.
either get her necklace, you can do the ritual of sending if you know her name, or you can,
Have the
use an
aberration of
aberration
nature.
And we're not certain Skadi is her true name?
No, Skazi's her name, but that's the name she's known by. Is that her real name? Probably
Gotcha.
not. That's probably lost to the.
Well, we'll have to put our bets on you, Miss Soonborn, and hope that it's enough.
You might. You do have a little bit of a occult library with you. You might sort of check it out, see if there's any information that you might use. You also there's a ton of plants and herbs there. You need to figure out which one is summer bloom.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you would like to check that. So let's do that here then quickly. So someone do a learning check as you go through the books and try and figure out anything that you might about the werewolf situation. And then someone can make a medicine check to try and figure out which of these plants is summer bloom.
I'll try to figure the plant situation out.
Okay.
You
I think
want
the
my
learning
help?
should either be Marguerite or myself. Probably Marguerite. She is skilled at this. I would assume. I would hope.
And one can help the other.
I'll assist you. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Hopefully this works.
While this is going on, Killian, there are some beautiful blue gems scattered around the room. They're probably worth a very pretty penny.
Yeah, Killian is going to, seeing that everyone else is focusing on that, just going to very calmly start grabbing some of the gems.
I didn't get anything, so I'm gonna push that.
Alrighty.
Pocketing a couple, keeping the other 2 in his right hand.
Are those gems the ones that are as blue as ice, Game Master?
They look like, yeah.
Right, devil's
also
luck
have-
on that push.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Great push. Great push.
They,
Push, good push.
they also have burnt blood sort of encrusting them.
And in the place of where I'm grabbing the gems, I'm just going to put down a couple marbles that I've also stolen.
And the medical, the learning check.
For the help, is that 2 dice extra or is that something else?
It's 1 dice.
1 dice? Okay. Very good. I'm glad I didn't roll that. I got 2 successes.
All right, so I'll do yours first because it's gonna the third one's gonna. So as you peruse through your books, you come across an old section about werewolves, and one of the things that they suggest is that a transformation can be induced by the cursed person inhaling the smoke from a burnt plant called Moonglow. And as you bring that up, you can ask Vendela if there's any Moonglow, and with her 666, she easily discovers that the plant over here is Summer Bloom, and that there is, in fact, some Moonglow over here on the table.
Perfect.
Right. So give me an idea of. All right. So now you have the Moonglow, you have the summer bloom. You realize that the water skin that's there near Thekla's token is ice wine that's in there, but you don't really need it for this part of the ritual. There's the 3 braziers which you can light up. And with that, you have pretty much everything. You are missing the 3 gems.
Were they here when we were, like, I don't remember if I saw them.
Well, they were part of his description of the interior of the lodge when we came in. Does that mean we all saw it, or is
You're
that a
pretty
bit
sure you
of?
saw some gems on the ground, yeah, but
Uh-huh.
you know, were they those gems? Were there something else? Was it,
Let's see.
you know?
Well, if the ritual was interrupted, the gems should still be nearby. I'll go about looking.
Do
And
we,
Reginald and I we'll start looking around.
are we in like dire need? What are the gems for necessarily?
Reginald is not there.
Reginald's not here.
Reginald's
Reginald's
watching
not
the
there.
cat.
Oh, he's with the cat. That's fine. Yeah, I'll start.
They're Reginald and the cat are in the back here by this little fireplace, just curled up into each other. And
Oh,
Oh, yes.
much better.
They stay there. They just stay there.
So, the gems, are they like necessary for anything in specific? Not that I know about any gems for sure, but I'm just trying to make sure, you know.
They're kind of essential for banishing the nature spirit that did all this.
What color are they? By any
I
chance?
believe they're blue.
They'll be
so
blue
if you
is the
find,
deepest of ice.
Ah, shit.
if you find any, let us know.
He like turns and just the most like Disney pagan way possible, like throws the gems out of his pocket and just, I found them.
Okay.
Good job, Killian.
Well done. Yes. Excellent.
Good eye. Good eye.
Right, yeah. No problem.
No,
Anything
it's
for the team. Damn it.
excellent. So you will prepare everything, light the braziers, set up the pot there that can be used to burn the Moonglow if you want. And you can have the Summer Bloom, which you crush. There's a mortar somewhere you can crush it and have enough to sort of spread out over this thing. You will need to redraw the circle. So that will be Vendela, I would assume, and we will do that when we return. But you set up everything, you get everything that sort of ready. You can take a bit of a break. So if you have accrued that 1 condition, you can remove 1 condition. If you
Nice.
picked up 1 condition, you can take a little bit of a break. And then just as the sun is finally sinking down the horizon and darkness comes in and the wind picks up, we will take a break. And then when we return, we will try to summon Skadi and see what you can do about it. When we return in a few minutes, don't go away. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are about to see how this thing will end. We will take a short 5-minute break to refresh ourselves, and we'll be right back. Please don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute. Thanks for hanging out. The mics are hot, and so is this cast. I know. Isn't it amazing? We are back here with this final little hurrah here for Vaesen Isa. The characters have found Thekla, the werewolf, and have decided that she is not to blame for the things that happened on the ship, that she had good reasons for what she did, killing the Russian agents. And so they've decided to help her. They've found the lodge where the three Saithir Kona, the three Satyr women, the three magic women, had attempted to summon a Landvetir, a spirit of place, in this particular case, a spirit of ice called Skadi, in order to wreak vengeance upon the fishing village. You assume that very likely they were intending to just make problems. Like you can imagine that, just freezing the bay where the ships were coming and going would have been problematic enough and would have been perfectly fine. But unfortunately, Brainier, having been sent to deal with them, happened upon him just as they were preparing the ritual, and unfortunately, his is interceding into the ritual by killing two of the Saithkana and breaking the skill, the protective circle. Unfortunately, allowed Skathi to, you assume, possess one of the Saithkana and thus be raging freely around, which would account for all this ice and all this bad business. So you have uncovered the ritual to summon, well, at least not to summon her, but to banish her. To summon her, you are going to use the presence of Thekla, the werewolf, as an aberration of nature to draw her to you. Thekla is very new to being a werewolf and is not too sure exactly how she would go about transforming herself. Where do you want her? Do you place her inside the circle, I guess, or where would you like to put her? So, actually, speaking of the circle, let us do this first. I would like you, please, Vendela, to make a magic roll to see if you can fix the circle correctly.
Oh, I'm gonna use my wild branch with that.
Probably not a bad idea. You don't want to mess this roll up.
That's 3 successes.
Oh, yes.
Not only
Yes.
not only do you fix it, but you improve on it as you're drawing this circle. There's some weird flashes of memories that you're getting, probably from your mother, of her doing it, and there's little things she does differently, and so you actually reinforce it and strengthen it. This one here. So I will say that I haven't been this successful in bringing this protective magic both in this circle and in the rune that you draw, the Algiz rune with the skjold around it. I will say that with your success in doing that, you've given everyone an extra advantage. So everyone has 2 advantage because you haven't spent the one you get for the night, and everyone will get an extra advantage as you are feeling emboldened and protected, and you feel the magic around you that whispers to you and makes you feel, like you're ready to do this. So please position yourselves where you would like to be positioned. Position Thekla where you would like to position Thekla. I will assume that you've done proper preparations and that you have relit the braziers, you have put the gems in each of the braziers, you have found wool or leather. Where will you be? You have to bury them in fresh earth. Where will you be burying them? Everything's pretty much frozen.
The plants are growing out of pots, right?
There you go.
Good.
Nice.
You remove a few plants. What is this, oregano?
Don't eat that.
So yeah, I guess we should figure out who is actually going to be performing the
Yeah.
ritual, and I guess now's the time to remember that will the ice go? If the ice disappears right away, then the ship might start sinking. I don't know if they fixed that. So
They've had, 24 hours or more now.
Is it going to be instant, do we guess, or is it
You
going to be
don't
something
know.
that's going to take time to thaw?
It will very likely just start thawing normally. So normally this time of the year, there wouldn't be ice, so it's probably going to thaw, fairly rapidly, so to speak, but it's probably going to take a few days for it to thaw out, but
They
at
were
this
already
point, like an
aware.
ice-breaking boat or something could certainly get through it. But yeah, you don't expect that all of a sudden the boat will just, all the ice is gone, boat sinks. Man, that town's gonna stink some fierce when all those bodies thaw out.
Oh,
Oof.
The whale, the whale corpses are gonna be nothing
yeah.
compared to that.
Oh,
Yikes.
All right, so yeah, position yourselves. And who
Well-
does what? Yeah, let's sort that out.
we want Thekla behind the circle, like over here, to like draw Scotty right through.
Okay.
Is she gonna come through the front door?
This is
Oh.
a stone, right? The outside of it?
Are
Yeah.
these windows? Or
So
is it
no,
just-
so it's not. So there's a foundation of stone about, I'd say, half a man height, and then the rest is timber.
Okay.
I guess she could always bust through the wood. We'll
She
find
could.
out.
She could.
The door's
window
easy
might.
access, though.
There are several windows around also.
Well, we have to maybe assume that there's part of one of the three women that is still within her that will inherently not want to destroy her home.
It's a good
So
bet.
maybe she will be nice and polite and come through the front door.
We can hope.
We can.
Maybe. Maybe.
I position myself to the, if this is aligned as a compass would be, to the northern section of the room, over here by these crates by the front door,
Okay.
with the rifle ready. And I'm going to
Reginald
wait.
by your side, or are you leaving Reginald? The
Reginald
basket?
can stay in the back with the kitty. I will give him a nice pat on the head.
Okay, they will
and,
go. They'll go in the bed and just sort of hide in.
That's fine.
Hide in.
I give him a little. I
pelts.
give him a little piece of treat that I have. It's like a little piece of dried jerky that I give him, and I rub his head.
He gives
And
you
the
that
cat?
look that he gives you when he thinks he's never going to see you again.
And I just give him a little smooch on the forehead. And I look at the cat, and I just kind of, under its chin, give it a little rub.
The cat looks at you suspiciously.
It's fair.
So like a cat.
Yeah, right, like a cat, yeah.
Like a cat does.
Yep, and then I'll go out and take. I'll help them set everything up, but I'm
Yeah.
letting them take the lead with that. They know about how to do this. So
Okay. Everybody else, you're where you're expecting to be.
Yep, just by the brazier.
Well,
Will we be able to do it just the two of us? If Thekla is wolfified,
do the
the ritual?
Yeah, one person can do it.
Oh, even just one
Oh.
person. Okay, I thought.
There's nothing that really requires that it be done at the same time. You can extinguish the braziers one after the other, then get the stones. after. It's
gotcha.
just,
All right.
So, it doesn't matter as long as one person's doing it. All right, and it can be anyone as long as one person says, I'm doing the ritual, and then, one round will be putting out the fires, one round will be taking out the gems and wrapping them, another round will be planting them, another round will be saying the ritual. That should be about it. So it's 4 or 5 rounds.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else you want to do or say or pray to before?
is everyone ready?
I mean, as I can be.
Yep.
Right then.
So
Let's kill this bitch.
this ice bitch. You put the moon glow in the pot there, and it swiftly begins to burn and smoke up the room. It's got a very cloying, pungent scent that reminds you a little bit of like burning berries. And Thekla kneels next to it and inhales deeply of it and keeps inhaling. And as it's happening, she's like, I don't think it's working, but you're like this, as you've already seen, like a tail start to grow and her legs have kind of bent back. And you can see fur that's rising on the back of her neck. And she's like, if I attack you, if I can't control myself, please don't hesitate to do what you need to do to protect yourselves. You've already done more than I could have asked for, so please do defend yourself if you need to. And with that and a few more breaths, Thekla is gone, and in her stead is the wolf, the Winter Ulf, the wolf of winter, who is crouching there, and you can see blood dripping from the wounds where the shrapnel, the silver shrapnel still is, and you can almost see like the pieces of shrapnel trying to be squeezed out as the wound heals, but then going back in, and blood just drips down from these dozens of small cuts and wounds that she has. And she's kind of crying, and she has grown in height. She's about 1.5 feet taller than she used to be. As she's just breathing in these fumes. And not very long after that, she starts to look around, and you can kind of see that in her eyes, like slowly but surely, Thekla is sort of disappearing behind those eyes, and you realize you're playing with fire with this particular thing, but then suddenly you realize the air is getting increasingly colder. You had warmed up the place nicely with the fire pit and the braziers and all that, but now you're starting to see again your breath start to sort of come out of your mouth. You're starting to see a little bit of frost sort of lining the windows and then settling down on the plants and all that. And the light itself seems to dim and sort of take on a bluish glow. And we will do initiative here. All right, I'll go in order I see you. So Marguerite will go at 1, Marguerite.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
Elias at 8. Killian at 5. And 4 for Vendela. 2 for... Okay. So, the temperature drops suddenly very precipitously as all the window shutters blast open and this cold, frigid air starts to come into this room and snow is piling in. Everyone, please, first give me a... I'll be with you here momentarily. Everyone, give me a force check, please.
Do we get the +1 from our winter coat still?
You do.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job remembering that.
Well, I'm only rolling 3 then, because I don't have any points in the force skill.
Mm-hmm. Remember, you have 2 advantages, right?
Remind us what that does, please.
+2
Okay.
each. Vendela, you can use your golden ring for this.
Oh.
Let's see if anybody else has anything that they could use.
I'm going to use my advantage, definitely.
So does that mean I roll with magic for this, or
No, it just means you roll an extra +2.
Okay.
You have some protection against magic.
Are we rolling against?
And you're rolling your force. So roll your force plus your physique and get some 6s.
I got 1 success.
That I got 1 success.
1 success.
I'm gonna push that roll because I got no success.
Oh.
Yeah, 3 successes.
All right.
Nice.
So take a physical condition. And remember that when you're rolling physical stuff, you're at -1 die.
Mhm.
So with the force roll, you manage to resist this cold that has just suddenly struck, has really kind of just tried to sort of freeze you where you are. With the force check, you manage to resist it. It is incredibly cold. Like, imagine that it goes from, this is not going to mean much to you Americans, but I don't know what the equivalent is, but it would be like going from 0 to -50 Celsius in one blow, which means nothing to absolutely all of you. So, very freaking cold. Like, from freezing point to way colder than it has any right to be.
I live in Michigan, so I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's right.
I
When
know.
that wind comes through over the lake and just cuts
Oh,
right
yeah.
through you.
Oh, yeah.
So you manage to sort of resist that and not freeze in place. You're very cold, and you get the feeling that if you stand in this cold for way too long, like you're going to start feeling the effects. Right now you're okay for this round, but you're going to start feeling the effects. As that's happening, the front doors blow in, and this gust of wind and snow sort of rush in, and standing in the doorway, looking somewhat larger than life, is Skazi. and I will attempt to show you. You didn't get a physical condition, no. I'll
Ooh.
just do this.
Oh no.
What a babe.
Is that your mom?
It is not her mom.
Oh,
I
No.
moved it.
I think I
All right,
remember if my
then.
mom looked like that.
Here, I have a better.
Check,
go.
please.
yeah.
There you go. You can check on the map. It is clear she's wearing clothing that is similar to the other two women that you saw here that were killed, but she's sort of grown out of it. Her skin is blue and seems to be made out of ice, and these horns that also look like glinting eyes have sort of emerged from her head. She's holding a frozen fisherman's spear that is dripping. Again, just this sort of frosty kind of liquid that's burning the ground as it hits it. And please do fear checks.
Okay. I'm using my empathy because I have a 5 in empathy.
Yeah, now you are surrounded by friends, so
Okay.
you can do +1 per friend up to a maximum of +3.
Oh,
Oh, wow. So
I will
nice.
I will also do
um,
empathy.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my brain.
Oh, yeah. That's 2 for Elias.
2 for
That's-
Vendela.
2 for Killian.
Hey.
Oh, I
And
got 2
Marguerite.
as well.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So you needed to not feel fear. So as she busts in,
Power of friendship.
exactly. You take heart in knowing that there are these protective spells there, and that your friends are by your side, and you are strengthened against this thing as she sort of comes. All right. So now we will go, Marguerite. You have the first
Okay.
action.
So I want to. So can I tell that Thekla is starting to lose her shit?
Thekla, as when the door sort of bust open, she turned around and started growling, and you kind of get the feeling like maybe she wants to jump out at this thing. Which should be bad because you can't start the ritual until Skadi's in the circle.
Yeah.
So if she moves, you're kind of, it's going to be difficult to get Skadi where she's supposed to be. So she looks like she's about ready to kind of pounce out at it.
I want to kind of try and step not completely in front of her, but just to the side, just be like, hey, just like focus on me for a second.
Ooh. All right, that's a risky proposition.
Yeah.
As this werewolf is staring out at you. So I will ask you to do a manipulation roll as you are attempting to get her to stay there, back down, but also not eat your face because you're like in her face now, gesticulating and looking kind of.
Wave my cane around. That is 2 successes.
Young whippersnapper. All right, excellent. You absolutely managed to sort of, manage to get her to sort of hold off, and she looks at this thing and then looks at you, and then you can see she kind of calms down a little bit, but you can tell that she's like wanting to sort of jump into it. Hey, where am I, Scotty? Stats. There we go. Okay. 2. It would be Thekla. So Thekla at 2 sees you, starts to growl, starts pacing around here. We'll hold her action and sort of wait. You can tell she's really kind of on edge and sort of wanting to move. But she, for now, will just sort of pace back and forth back there. At 4, then we will have Vendela. So do note, you can choose to hold your action if you want to wait to see if Skadi will get into that circle by the end of the turn.
I'm gonna
So that you
hold
can-
in that case since Marguerite seems to have Thekla focused for the moment. So I'm gonna
Okay.
hold.
No problem. Killian.
I am
Marguerite is a
Going-
fan, a super fan in Dave, I think.
Oh.
Super fan.
think.
So yes, Killian.
Yeah. I'm going to like kind of peek around the corner and just wave of where the brazier is, and just wave over to Scotty and just like, "Hey, over here! Pay attention to me, right over
So
here."
you realize you're down there near the post, right?
Oh yeah, the post. I did
Is
mean
that
the
where
post, not the brazier.
Okay. So you wave at her, or are you trying to get her to
I'm
notice
trying to
you?
get her. I'm trying to get her attention.
All right, you do a manipulation check. She will, however, be resisting it
Ah, I see.
because she's not one so easily.
So I can roll 6 dice. Resist two successes.
All right, she does not. So you kind of, hey, good, come over here, and
Oh, yeah.
she turns and she sees you, and she get the freshest breath you've ever smelt before in your life.
Mentos, the fresh
yeah.
maker.
At 5, sorry, that was Killian at 5. At 6, she goes.
Oh.
Oops.
And, yeah. And at 6, she is going to. The first thing she will do is she will. All right. So everyone, roll your a second.
Strike me down, I will only become more powerful than you could comprehend.
Yeah, I'm just into the old cheat sheet. So you get to choose between rolling your observation, vigilance, or force as she attempts to use magic against you.
Absolutely go an observation on that one.
Observation, vigilance, or force, whichever
So
one you
am I.
like.
Let's be roll 7. Do we get any bonus from friendship?
No, not in this particular case.
It's a good question.
1 success.
I'm going to use my vigilance, and that's 2 successes again. I'm finally rolling well. Last episode.
I've got 2 for my observation.
Got one.
So hold on for a second. Okay. All right. Did everyone at least have one?
Yes.
Okay. So you managed to beat her. You suddenly felt this overwhelming despair settling upon you, and it really felt like all you wanted to do was just sit down and lie down and not move and not do anything, and kind of just feel like, the best thing to do would be to just go to sleep. Like it's really not worth it to put up any effort to try and change things, to try and stand up to them. You feel this wave of sort of, despondency sort of come over you, but you manage to sort of shake it off as you realize that it's a magical effect. She will then move over, and you unfortunately caught her attention. So she runs over, bashing the rocking chair that's there out of the way, and it explodes into shards of woods, and as it does, you see them freezing in midair, and when they hit the ground they kind of shatter, and she comes at you, and she comes in with that fishing spear of hers, attacking you. So you can you have already used your move, but you didn't move, so you could attempt to dodge Alea if you wanted, which I probably suggest you do.
Yeah, I am.
All right. So, in order to dodge, you've saved your fast action since you didn't move. You can attempt to parry, basically, is what you're doing. So you roll your force if you're unarmed, or close combat if you're armed.
I do have my pocket knife.
All right, that's good enough.
All right.
You roll that.
Okay. That's 6 minus 1, so 5. Roll. 1 success.
Okay, well, any success you get will
You strike me down.
take away from her damage. She comes in with that.
Comprehend.
Do you still have an advantage if you want?
Oh, I have an advantage, but I'm not going to use it yet.
You're not going to use it?
That's
All
it.
right. So you will take. You got one success.
Yeah.
All right. So you will take 2 physical wounds as she comes in with this sort of fishing spear and just rams it into you and rams it into the pole next to you, kind of sticking you to the pole. So you take 2 more physical conditions, which I believe breaks you.
I'm at 3.
Yeah. So you are broken. When you are broken, you must first roll to see if you will get a critical injury.
Keeping things interesting.
D66.
That's right.
Roll a D66.
Yeah.
And go. That. Not what it was. Start. 9.
No, so 66, you roll them. So tell me which one is the first and which one's the second, and you read them as a number.
Got you.
Yeah,
That's
you rolled
my
2
bad.
6s.
That's my bad.
That's all right. So reroll.
All right,
And
first
then
die.
decide which one's first.
So 2 and a 5.
So 25?
25.
All right. Unfortunately, as the spear comes in, there's a barb on it, and as it pins your shoulder into this wooden post, the barb cuts right across your face, giving you a facial injury. You will be able to decide what you want, but I figure it kind of cuts through and probably rips out a portion of your ear as it stabs you into the thing. So the facial injury will give you the defect disfigured, which will give you a -1 to your manipulation. However, that's not it's not on at all times. That's something that the GM can call on once per game to say, aha, you're trying to use manipulation, but you're disfigured, so you get a -1 sort of thing, right? But so it's more of a role-playing thing, really. So that you know, once you are broken, someone can attempt to sort of bring you back by treating you with medicine or inspiration, and in doing so, by basically just coming to your aid and using medicine to try and bring you back. And those conditions will heal automatically, and you can kind of get back into things. But for now, all you can do really is kind of just hang there and, you know, feeling like you've been harpooned, basically, which is sort of what's just happened to you, unfortunately, here. At 8, Reginald and Elias and
Reginald bounds out. No.
she would sort of be there at this point where she speared him and plugged him into this timber that's holding up the roof. What would you like to do?
Well, I was going to wait to shoot her till she was in the circle, but Elias, seeing what's happening with Killian, he is going to turn and he's going to say, Scothy! When she turns, he wants to shoot her with the rifle.
All right. Go for it.
Okay, so that's going to be
your ranged plus
range
your
combat, which is 1, and my precision, which is 3. Okay, so that's 4. I'm rolling. Oh shit! Oh wow, that is 4 6s.
Wow, really?
Holy shit!
Let's go!
Sheesh.
Fuck yeah! Sorry.
All right, so let's take a look at. So she got 2 successes. So you have 2 successes left. So you're going to do the damage of the gun.
Okay.
And then let's look at the extra successes. You were using ranged combat. So you can increase your damage. For each dice, you can increase your damage by 1. You can choose to outmaneuver your enemy, which means you exchange initiative cards with them. You can stress your enemy, basically causing a mental condition rather than physical ones. You can push the enemy into another zone or a specific part of the zone that you're in, or you can make the enemy drop a weapon or an item.
Oh,
and you can do multiple of these things. You get two things you can do.
Well, something I want to ask about with that. One of my talents is that I am a tactician. If I have extra successes on ranged combat, I can issue orders to my allies, which give them bonuses on their next rolls. But I have to spend successes. So is that going to work against this?
Yeah. So any success you spend doing that, you won't be able to
Won't
use
be on that.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Mhm. So you're doing the guns damage is 2 damage. You're going to do
Yeah,
2
it's
damage.
2 damage for the gun. Yeah, right off the bat.
So you do that for sure. Now you have
Okay,
2 more dice.
I mean, I don't know if we're able to discuss or not. I mean, what would be?
You're kind of in the thick of it, so
I'll just do the extra damage. I'll do the extra
Awesome.
damage.
awesome. All right, so you do 4 damage to
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah.
All right.
Take a
let's see
picture
where
of these
that
dice,
puts her.
because everybody home is like, yeah, right.
That's right. I totally believe you, man. All right, so she is now okay. So your shot appears to have dazed her, where you hit her and she seems to kind of recoil a little bit. She's taken 4 damage. She's not out of the fight by any way means, but you shot and she appears to be somewhat dazed and kind of out of it a little bit.
And then I just take the rifle because it's spent now, and I just chuck it off to the side and start reaching for the revolver.
All right, nice. That would be your turn at 8. Back down to 1, Marguerite.
I'm like sweating.
I'm gonna see what happens to Killian, and I am not thrilled. So I'm going to look at Tekla and try to look at her in her wolfy eyes, be like, either stay here or get that witch in this circle, and I'm going to run over to Killian.
All right. I just want to stress out that one of the things you could do with the extra successes, Kev, was to manipulate your target into anywhere in the zone that you wanted. So you could have manipulated her into to know for next time.
Okay.
Yeah, the push the enemy into another zone or a specific part of the zone you are in, so you know for next time.
Gotcha.
All right. You were just really excited about the super.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
Totally. All right. So what do? You look at her and she's looking at you. You get the feeling she's probably going to try to pounce, but you don't know where it might go. So what do you do?
So I'm running over to Killian, and I'm going to try to either, if I can try to patch him up really, really quickly, or even just pull him like behind the table.
All right, so I'm gonna say it's one of those two. So you can, if you want, try to rip out the spear and then kind of grab him and then pull him back. That would be your action. Or where he's standing, you can try to kind of, because the spear pinning him to the wood is really just for flavor more than anything. Like he could be something. So what do you want to do? Do you want to try to do medicine right away to bring him back, or do you want to haul him away to safety first?
I'm gonna haul ass.
Okay. So you get there, you grab the spear, you rip it out, and then like he falls, and you grab him, and then you pull back, and you go and hide like kind of over here, sort of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, no problem. You drag him there. Killian's bleeding. You see like part of his ear is missing or something, like as he's got this huge wound on the side of the head. He's not looking like he's very happy. At 4, Vendela.
I mean, it's not going great. Oh, do I have anything that would work on a Vaesen? I don't think. Can I try to manipulate her in some way to get into the circle? Like to move away from where she...
Yeah, so you could use manipulation, empathy, and just try to like convince her to come to you, sort of thing.
Okay, I think how Vendela's gonna do that is she's just gonna kind of cup her hands and just kind of make a wolf, like kind of like it's kind of getting ready, just to kind of... She's panicking a little bit.
No problem. Go ahead and make manipulation plus empathy roll.
Okay.
Man, I'm rolling a lot of 5s.
Oh, great.
The target was 5. You'd be in trouble.
Hey, 2 successes.
2 successes. All right. So she's looking at Margaret, and she sees you, then she looks at Margaret, and then she hears the wolf, and then her eyes kind of refocus over on Thekla, who's just sort of behind you, and she looks like she's going to start moving in your direction. You can move. Do you want to move, or do you stay there?
Yeah, I kind of, if I can move to this side.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. You can move anywhere you want. And it's awesome. At 5, Killian, you are broken and really can't do much other than whisper your final dying words to Marguerite.
Still pretty.
Maybe a little less now, but yeah, you're fine. You look okay. You're gonna be okay. Look, you've been in worse scrapes. Okay, you're gonna be fine.
Battle scars.
Yeah.
And then at 6, Scotty goes. So Scotty's gonna start coming over here, and when she comes, Thekla, who had been holding her action, will jump her and start kind of grabbing her and start trying to wrestle her and hold her into that that circle. Ooh, that's nice. All right, so Thekla sort of jumps on her and starts wrestling her, and Scotty like grabs her by the throat and lifts her up. They're both standing in the circle, but Scotty has grabbed her by the throat and is sort of holding her up and is squeezing her, and Thekla's clawing at Scotty's arm, and you can see chips of ice kind of flying off at where her claw is hitting. At 8, that would be at 6. That was her action. 8, it would be Elias.
Okay. Now that she's in the circle, Elias is going to. He has the revolver pointed. He's going to split his attention back and forth between where Killian and Marguerite are and where Scothy is, and he's just going to look and he's going to make eye contact with Margaret and say, "Are you good?" And he's going to walk forward towards where Scothy is and be outside of the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to try to shoot her again.
You know, you could start the ritual. She's in the
close the circle.
Yeah, I thought
Keep her in
Vendela
there.
was doing that.
I used my turn to get her in, over
Okay,
here
well
to
then,
get
yeah,
in this-
all right.
Anyone can do the ritual. All you have
Okay.
to do is say, "I do the ritual," and then whatever part
Okay.
of the ritual needs to be done.
Yeah,
I mean,
I will,
That's your choice, but it's
Okay,
your
no,
choice.
I misunderstood. That's Kevin's fault. So I will take the revolver. I still hold on to it. Now that I know that Marguerite is good with Killian, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to pull out whatever ingredient or part of the ritual that I happen to have, and I starting it.
All right. So at this point, it would be putting out the fire. So you have
Okay.
you have prepared like something to sort of put on them, like you got some pots and pans to sort of put down on the fire. So you go around and you extinguish all 3 of these fires. So you would obviously start with this one. Do you want to finish here, or do you want to finish there? There or here?
Yeah, I'll be across. So yeah, there's the 2 of them fighting in the circle is going to be like in a triangle pattern between Vendela and myself.
Okay, so you finish there. So you smash down those things and kill the fire on all of them. Awesome. Back to 1, Marguerite.
I'm going to try and patch up Killian now that I've told him everything's going to be fine. You don't look that bad.
Medicine away.
I will preface as I'm doing. I will preface. I'm not a nurse, and I don't have the Dr. Ackerman's bedside manner. So you're gonna just have to deal with that.
You do have his bag though, which gives you a +2.
Yeah.
Deal with what? He's gonna deal with what?
I'm gonna use my second advantage.
Go for it.
I got nothing. I'm gonna push it. This
Push
better
away.
Oh boy.
No. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. So that's 2 successes.
Okay.
All right.
Killian dies.
Yeah, she kills Killian.
So yeah, breaks him further. So you heal 2 conditions of your choice, Killian. Marguerite, you gain 1.
Oh yes.
A condition for the logic, whichever one you want, the mental one, whichever one you want.
Does that also take
pushing
me
him.
off of broken?
Yeah, and you can bounce right back into the action. That was at 1. At 2 would be Thekla, who continues to try to fight this thing. She will do an attack. Oops, no 6s. All right, so she's still kind of clawing at it, and apparently is not doing too much as just chips of ice are floating off, but nothing much is coming of it. At 4 would be Vendela.
Vendela's gonna continue with the ritual, and I think the next step is putting out the next brazier, right? Not the.
No, all 3 braziers are gone.
Oh, they're all out. So is
Yeah. So the next step is to grab the gems that are in them.
Gotcha.
And wrap them in wool or leather. So you'll go around and you'll do that. I will ask you to give me a force check just because these gems are very hot. I've just been in the braziers. So just give me a force check, if you will.
Okay.
Just to see, if you can manage to do it without.
Oh, and my winter gear gives me that +1.
Yeah, you just pull the sleeve and you're like, come here, Gem.
One success.
One success, that's good enough.
Okay.
All right, so you pick them up, you're like, oh, hot, and then you pull down the sleeve of your jacket and you sort of pull them out and you rush over and you get on the ground and you start wrapping them in leather and wool, whatever that you found for it. All right, that was at 4. At 5, Killian, you're like, Marguerite patches you up. She, puts a quick bandage over your thing. You feel the blood stop just spewing down on the side, and you realize, oh, maybe it wasn't so bad after all, or it's probably just cosmetic. But you're back into the fight. What would you like to do?
Like looking at Marguerite, like, all right, I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be doing other than trying to make sure that thing doesn't kill her.
That's about right.
All right, I have an idea then. And he's going to reach into his pack and pull out the root beer bottle, give it a kiss, and chuck it as hard as he can.
Nice. All right, give me a ranged attack roll.
All right.
She's not even going to try to dodge. She's too busy fighting the werewolf.
Cool. He's not good at range, so this will be fun. I'm only rolling 3 dice. You know what? I'm using my advantage on this.
All right, go for it.
Let's go. All 4 or 6.
Crazy.
Stop, really?
Crazy. That ball of root beer, man. Coming in clutch.
Chekhov's beverage.
Chekhov's beverage. All right,
let's go.
So the ball of root beer does 1 damage on its own.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so then you have 3 successes. What do you want to do? You can do more damage. You can exchange initiative cards with your enemy. You can stress your enemy, causing them mental conditions. Right, physical. I don't know that you'd want to do that. You can push the enemy into another zone or a specific part of the zone you're in, or you can make the enemy drop a weapon or an item.
Okay. This is a vintage root beer bottle.
Okay, first of all, it shatters when it hits Scotty's icy body. So it was a hell of a sacrifice, but you got some goods out of it.
Can we have whatever liquid was still left get into Scotty's eyes to blind her so that
I'll give you that. So that's 1 success. I'll give her a -1 next round.
Nice.
You have 2 more successes to do some with.
Oh boy!
You could get her to drop
the big baddie spear.
No, she doesn't have the spear anymore, but you could get her to drop the werewolf.
Yeah, just like the force of the impact, just like blinds. Let's go of Thecla.
And then you have 1 more left. You want to do an extra point
of
damage?
And I have 1 more. Just do another point of damage from that.
All right, 2 more damage. As this bottle shatters and the glass and the root beer goes into Scotty's eyes, she drops Thecla, who hits the ground and is drawn away, and she looks to be broken, like she was already had damage from the other thing. So at this point she's broken. You can see that she's slowly starting to transform into her human form again, as she has taken too much damage. All right, 2 more.
If she looks at me, I want just to hold up 2 middle fingers, like, still alive.
She appears to be badly injured.
Saved by Bargs.
Yeah. Now, here's one thing I do want you to think about. If you damage her to the point where she has no more physical wounds, it may banish her. If you do that, you may not be able to remove the curse. So for you to know, for you to think about, for you to decide what you want to do with that. She looks very badly hurt. All right. So that was at 5 at 8. Elias.
Okay, did Vendela get all 3 of the stones or just one?
Yeah, she's got all 3, and you can see like 2 of them are on the ground next to her, kind of wrapped up, and she's finishing the 3rd one.
Okay.
Sorry, was that this round, Vendela?
Yeah, I just did that.
Okay, yeah, no, so she's not done. She's going to be done at the end of the round. You can only do
Okay.
1 step of the thing per round.
So I'm not able to help her in any way?
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to just move over back directly behind Thekla.
Mm-hmm.
And because I see she's turning back into her human form, is what you said,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And I'm going to wait for just a moment. I'm going to hold my action to if she, as soon as the circle is like right about to close, I'm going to grab her and pull her out so she's not in it. I don't know if that'll work that way. I'm just in a panic mode.
Yeah, not a problem at all. So so you do that. You're standing there ready to grab her. Back to 1, Marguerite.
I'm very glad that she hasn't come over to us. Be like, God damn it. That was cool, Killian, but God damn it. I'm going to run to the other side of the circles, and I'm going to grab my cane, pull out the sword, and tap her on the head so that Scathy turns around and tries, or maybe that's a manipulation roll so that she doesn't go after Tekla more, or
Yeah, that. So you can go ahead and give me a manipulation.
Can she leave the circle once she's in it, or is she just stuck there?
No, she can, as long as the rest of the ritual is not
yet done.
enacted.
Mm.
So you step up behind her.
Just 1 success.
All right, she got 1 success also. So your thing succeeds. She turns around and looks at you, and you can see, like, she's trying to wipe her eyes from the root beer and everything else. She's bleeding from the face, and she turns to you and just screams, and her mouth just blows this cold, frigid air at you.
My old bones.
My old bones. It's so cold. At 2 is Thekla. She's like broken basically at this point, so she can't do anything. Elias is going to try to pull her out when he can. At 4 would be Vendela.
Next step of the ritual, we're burying those in dirt. So
Grab those things, run over there.
Yep, she's
Start
gonna
putting them into the
burying
dirt.
them. Yep.
Awesome. 5, Killian.
I'm going to join the group in the middle and see if I can help with the restraining process.
So what do you do?
I'm going to head over here. Oh god, I'm moving the entire map. I'm gonna head up. And as I'm running, I want to pull out one of the suits from the bag that I stole.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to try to just like wrap it around Scotty's head and like try to restrain them to keep them from doing anything else.
All right. So I will say make a close combat roll.
Okay. I don't want to damage them. Just...
Yeah, that's fine. Make a close combat roll against her.
One success. You can't win them all.
All right. First of all, she's very tall and you're short.
I'm sure.
So as you're kind of jumping up and trying to kind of do that, she sort of just turns around and kind of swats you away. And she doesn't really connect or anything and just kind of pushes you back, but you kind of fall back on your ass. The jacket sort of goes flying up, but you did manage to put it on her, unfortunately. Cool. So you kind of fall back ass over tea kettle. At 6, Scotty goes. And as she goes, you can see her, like, her eyes are glowing blue, and she starts to chant and just move her hands, and as she does this whirlwind of coal starts emanating from her, and this wave of coal just rips through, a curse of coal just rips through the entire room. So everyone, roll your force, please.
Oh boy.
With the
Do I use my
bonus from
ring
the-
for this too?
Yeah, so you can use your ring for this. You use your force. You can get the bonus from the jackets. Remember, if you have any wounds, to remove dice for your conditions.
Is it just one with a jacket? It just adds
Yeah.
one.
Yeah,
Okay.
next one.
So that means I have 2.
One success for Elias.
No successes, and I'm not gonna push it.
Okay.
Also, no successes, and I'm not
2
going to push it.
successes.
All right. So she did 3 damage. You take 3 damage minus whatever amount of successes you had. So that's physical damage.
Oh, so
Son of a!
Oh no, Killian! Again!
Oh boy.
I only healed the 2.
Yeah, you feel this cold just wrap around you, and as it hits you, you hit the ground, and you find yourself freezing, like your arms can barely move, and you've never felt so cold in your life as you become broken again. And how's everybody else doing? Did everybody else get to broken?
I got 3 physical conditions.
All right, you drop also as the cold just envelops you and starts to immediately freeze your skin and your bones, and you feel like you're encased in ice. And the others, are you okay? Are you still up?
I'm good. I'm up.
All right.
That's the
and-
first damage
Still
I've
up.
taken in the fight.
Same,
So far.
same.
All right. So I will put some. We'll say you are stunned. That's Marguerite.
I get
And-
knocked out, but I get up again. And get
Oh god,
knocked
it's like a
down.
punching bag. This poor kid.
As this wave of cold just rips through, and you see the plants around you just dying as this cold just freezes them where they are, and you can see the rest of the windows that hadn't shattered, just like frost covers them, and there's basically it's like the temperature dropped to like madness level. All of a sudden, you can feel yourself getting sluggish as this goes on. All right, so that was at 6. At 8 will be Elias.
Elias looks at what's going on, and he is going to take the revolver, and he starts to aim it, and then he just drops it. He reaches in and he rips out the Bowie knife, and it rips the sheath in a way that he won't be able to resheath it again. He grabs Thekla and he throws her out as he steps in, right in front of Scothy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's what one monster fight another, shall we?
All right. Do you take a swing or?
If I'm able to, yeah, I'll take a swing with the knife.
Yeah, I'll say you can take a swing.
Cool. Close combat is 2. Physique is 2. That's 4. Oh, that's no success. If I push it, I'll get broken. So I'm going to let it ride.
All right. So you go, you come to stab her, and her hand just comes down and blocks you, and she's kind of holding your wrist now, and you can literally feel frostburn just start spreading around your wrist and around your arm where you're holding the knife. You're not going to drop the knife just yet. That was at 8. Back to 1. Vendela.
Since no one else can go, I guess I'm gonna keep going with the ritual because can't really stop now. So that is the
Won't stop.
Stop. That's the summer bloom, I believe. So crushed and sprinkling it over the summoning circle.
No, so basically at this
No?
point would be the incantation.
Oh, this would be the incantation. So
Yeah, because you're gonna do the summer bloom basically after she is gone
Gotcha.
to erase the circle after.
Right. So then Vendela will take the incantation and she recites let's see. 3 times. Oh well, no, because
No.
it's this different one.
You
The
just
wind
have
from-
to say it once.
Yep. The wind from the north that blows ill in winter and sweetly in summer, Scothy, goddess of the ice, Scothy, bring forth your winds, chill the hearts of our enemies, of your enemies, settle your frozen mantle upon the land, bring all to a still, Scothy, goddess of the ice, we beseech thee. Where is it? Return to the north and howl no more.
I was waiting to see if you were going to remember to switch the last one.
Yeah.
I check
was
it
like-
every turn. I'm like, it's not that one, it's this one.
I was like, if she doesn't, they're doomed. They're just
Nope.
doomed. Like, they're so doomed. All right, very well. So as you finish the incantation, the circle flares to life. Light emanates from it. Scothy sort of recalls from where you are. Elias says, now this circle is holding her trapped in here. Unfortunately, you also realize that there are 2 of your friends in the circle with her.
Well, I'm
and
in the
so-
circle too, right?
Yeah, okay, yeah, you can be if you want. You stepped in, no problem. So you're in there. So that was at 1. At 2, it's Thekla, but she's kind of out of it. She's broken. At 4 and 5 will be the two of you who are also broken, and then Scotty will go at 6, and seeing only unable to leave, but seeing you there, will attempt to give you a walloping. You can attempt to parry, as you didn't really move you, so you still have your parry action if you want.
Yeah, I'll
with
try
your
to parry.
armed attack. Yeah. Just get 2
what
dice
I roll
less
to parry,
now
I'm
because of her
sorry?
condition. So you roll your armed combat. It's just like as if you were fighting. You roll your armed combat.
Oh,
plus
okay,
your
so
ability.
4 again.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's 2.
All right. So here you go. She comes down, she sees you, and like she sees that she can't leave, and she sees the two at her feet, and you realize she could just reach down and kill either one of them. So you kind of step up with threatening her with your knife, and she turns and she sees you, and her claw just comes down at you, and you raise up your knife to parry. And as she does, her hand hits your knife. You can feel your hand kind of snap from the pain of it. Your blade snaps. The knife blade goes flying, and you drop it as you kind of recoil from the hit that she's giving you, but you didn't take any damage. You've managed to parry her blow. And then at 8, it is you. You could, if you wanted, take control of her. Now that she's in the circle, you can give her orders. You could banish her. You can
Now,
tell her to go
how
away, or
broken how broken is the knife? Like it's completely
There's
useless.
there's like a chunk of it left. You would have like
Okay.
half the blade as kind of, because she hit it
I-
and it froze, and so half of it kind of snapped off, but half
Okay.
of it's still there.
Banishing her isn't going to banish anyone in the circle, right?
No, so you can either at this point just simply bash her. You could tell me I want to bash her, you order her to go, and she'll disappear. Now you don't know what that's going to do. Is the curse going to remain? Is the curse going to fly when she goes? Otherwise, you can try to give her an order. Like she theoretically should listen to you now that she's bound into this circle.
Okay. I look at the broken knife and I look up at Scotty and I look to the 2 companions that are in the circle with me and with her. And I say, "You're not needed here anymore." And I'm going to hook my arm around hers and I'm going to pull her almost like into a hug, and I'm going to jab the rest of the knife into her chest. I'm going to whisper in her ear, "Go home.
And as you
I
do
banish
that,
you."
And as you do that, the winds start to howl around this room and just whip around, and there's frost and snow and everything. The plants go flying, the plates, the books, the papers, everything just goes flying as she screams. And then all of a sudden, everything stops. The plants fall to the ground, the papers, everything. And it's quiet. She is gone.
And I'm in the same position. I look down at my empty hand. She took the knife with her. And I just breathe a sigh. And I'll look to Vendela. And then I'll look to the others and I'll move forward.
Yep, we gotta help. We gotta help.
Can I try to inspire them, to rouse them, to make them okay?
Yeah, so you can. They're broken physically, so they need to be healed with medicine.
Oh, I see. Okay. I had thought before you said it was.
I have
So the inspiration be for a mental.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
then came back on that. It's physical medicine for mental and inspiration for
That's going to be
inspiration
bad,
for
but-
mental and.
I have some with medicine. I could try to, because I got a 5 in precision, and then medicine, and I have bandages. So
Alright.
that can be.
I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Can I assist her?
You can assist her, so give her +1 dice. If you have conditions, Vendela, remember to take them into
Yes.
account.
Gotcha. Yay, yay. So that is just 1 success.
All right, so 1 success. Who were you helping first, Killian or Marguerite?
I'm gonna help Killian because he already took a lot of damage this fight.
All right, so you get back 1. You heal back 1 condition. However, before we do that, the 2 of you, let's roll on the critical table.
So that's roll 2 and
Roll 2 and decide which one's first. and then tell me what you get.
This is the first one.
I took 9 lives.
Oh yeah, I can choose because I have that too. I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 lives.
And yeah, that's a physical.
63.
63.
Oh no.
I'm going the other
Ooh.
side.
Yeah. So 63 is something. We'll get to that in a second. What did you get?
Oh.
Marguerite?
Oh
I am going to do.
no.
I'm gonna do 46.
46. You have a punctured eye. All right. So as you as you come to tend to we'll get to your eye in a second. As you come to tend to Killian, you notice that he has a torn abdomen. The wound that he took earlier from the spear has sort of ripped through him, and the cold has just sort of totally just ripped this hole in his chest. Here's the thing: he has 1d6 hours to live. You need to get him to some medical attention.
The doctor's like half a day away in the town. Oh no.
Want
Now-
me to roll for the hours?
There's gotta be something in this cabin. There's gotta be something in this witch's cabin.
So, what happens now with that? To treat a critical injury, in order treating critical injury, when you have sustained critical injury, it might either kill you or become chronic. Someone must treat you with medicine before the time limit expires. If it succeeds, you cease to be broken while retaining all your other conditions. Extra successes can be used to heal addition. So you got one success. So that means that you do, in fact, stop him from dying. So you would have lived for 4 hours, but you've managed to stop him from dying. However, he remains broken because he doesn't heal any of the other conditions. So you managed to stop the bleeding and managed to sort of stop him from dying, but he's completely just sort of out of it and barely able to move or do anything. But you did manage to save his life.
Yay. Part of
Marguerite,
me's like, how has the kid got the most injuries? But then I'm like, actually, with kids, that tracks. No, that tracks.
as for Marguerite, her injury is not. There is a time limit on the injury, also. Actually,
It is fatal.
So now I will ask you. Okay, give me a d6 roll.
Ooh. That's 4.
All right. You have 4 hours to live. So now you turn your attention to Marguerite. You see that blood is running freely down her face as part of her eye. The cold has just completely exploded one of her eyes and crushed the bone in the occipital bone here. Give me another medical test.
Oops, there that goes.
I'm assuming Elias is still helping you, so that's 1 dice. And you have the bandages, that's 1 dice, minus whatever your conditions are giving you.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding how this was narrated. So basically, Killian right now is broken, but he's not going to die. Is that?
No.
Did I hear that correctly? Okay.
No, and now we're trying to see if
Okay.
Marguerite can be saved from dying.
Got 1 success.
All right. So that's all you need as you manage also to staunch the blood flow and treat the worst of it. Marguerite is still broken and can't move, but you've managed to save her life in this particular moment. So we'll jump ahead a little bit here as you've set up some fires to get the place warmed up. You've moved Marguerite and Killian into the beds to sort of allow them to rest. You did find in the middle of the circle where Scotty was that the older woman, the Saith Kana that was missing, her body is there, and you find the blade of the knife stuck in her. Once you get to the body, there's nothing to be done for her. She was dead, and Thekla. You managed to help Thekla out so that she's no longer broken. She still has wounds, but also, has managed again to kind of regain some of her composure. And she says, "If you'll allow me, I'll run to the town and try and get the doctor. If you want to stay here with your friends,
Please.
Yeah, if you're feeling up for it, I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, I'm not right now, but she puts some more moon glow in the thing and gets it burning, and then starts to inhale it, and then eventually you see her again transform into the wolf. She goes, "This will help." And she turns around and, like on all fours, starts lopping out and trailing blood still from her many wounds that are still bleeding from the silver shrapnel. Runs off to get the doctor. As the two of you sit there, you are now wondering if the curse will be lifted. Is killing Scotty sending her back enough, or would you have had to order her to break the curse down? We'll see, but you have a few moments now. Is there anything you would like to do before we move on to the
Vendela is going to get those spell books and just put them in her bag so no one else gets them.
Not a problem.
I take the 3 weird ladies and I put them together and like clean them up, put them together, and then I'll cover them with a blanket from one of the beds.
Okay, no problem.
And then I'll go in, I'll stand, and I'll look over Marguerite. I can see she's resting okay. I go in to where Killian is, and I stand there for a second.
The two of you can speak, by the way. Sorry, Marguerite and Killian. You can speak. You just don't have a lot of strength. You're bedridden kind of thing, but you can...
Gotcha. I thought they were unconscious.
Okay. No. You can talk, sorry.
Okay.
I should have specified that.
Okay. So I'll go to Marguerite, and I will say... hell of a first ride, huh?
It's not my first rodeos. Do those exist?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah,
America.
They're huge. They're huge in America.
Great show.
Maybe I'll get to see one.
Maybe.
She says with her eye bandage.
Yeah. We've made a lot of work for Dr. Ackerman. Hey, I actually match him now.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure you match in more ways than one.
Match made in heaven.
One-eyed drinking buddies.
Well,
Bow chicka bow wow.
well, I'm glad you're still here. We're not going to get rid of you that easily, I'm sure.
Well, Killian's gonna try to get rid of me anytime, but we'll try to keep him out of trouble.
Sure.
I lost my root beer ball.
You really took one for the team. You really sacrificed a lot.
I'm gonna have to actually try that
we'll say
stuff.
that you move the other bed into the room so that you're all in the same room.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to actually try that stuff, Killian. If it saved all of our lives, it must be somewhat good.
He like looks down and just... yeah, if I could find another bottle like that.
I look down at Reginald, who is sitting next to Killian's bed. He's got his head resting on Killian's forearm.
The cat is kind of spooned into Reginald.
Aww.
Vendela's going to feed some of her jerky to the cat.
The cat looks like, damn right, you should be feeding me.
Speaking of things that we'll be doing in the future, Marguerite had something I wanted to inform you about.
Is this the best time?
I mean, I'm gonna forget about it if we don't.
Hey.
You remember the debt that you owe to Galabrade?
Yeah. He said it was gone now.
Yeah. Just making sure. He thunks his head back on the pillow.
She's gonna reach across and I'm sure the beds are close enough, and she'll kind of scoot over and try to hold his hand for a little bit. And she's like, I can't really see you, but
just try not to make another one because that's already been paid for too.
oh, only for you, babe.
Thank you. He just thunks his head back on the pillow again. Just, oh, my guts feel terrible.
Yeah, don't move much. Just don't move much.
Eventually, you hear, God damn it, we're gonna need more gin.
I got vodka in the meantime.
Vodka. Ugh.
I said in the meantime.
Don't worry, your pretty little head. I got all the gin we need. So The doctor has returned with Thekla, and he will say, "You must have done something right. And the weather outside is nice and balmy, and the ice on that snow was melting as we were coming up here. Still a hell of a trek up here, but I managed to signal for the boat, and just before we left, I saw that there were a group of the sailors that were coming across the ice to get number one and help us. So if we can get your broken little bodies there back to the city, we'll be able to get you all back on the boat in no time." He comes over, he sits down next to you, Margaret's like, "I don't know what's happened to you, but you look even better now than you did earlier."
Oh,
What a flatterer.
oh, smooth.
Old people sex. Ugh.
I'm still in the bed. Killian's gonna turn his head to look to Vendela. Just, by the way, Vendela,
Yeah.
thanks for all your help back there.
Yeah,
You're a
of
lot
course.
better than I gave you credit for.
You know, I appreciate that. I'm just kind of playing it along as I go. It's I think I'm a little more capable than I give myself credit for. But you were really brave, Killian. Like, so brave. Like, I don't think I was ever that brave at your age.
It's not bravery, it's stupidity in Irish work. Gives a thumbs up, looks over to hold on, while I had a thing pulled up and it went away. Gosh dang it. Never mind, skip me for now.
No, you're a good kid, and I could use somebody like you in my investigations if you are looking for a place to stay that's not as mobile.
Does that mean I get to stay in the house with Reginald?
Of course. He's lonely. He's got a stodgy old creep who lives with him. So
Will I be questioned about how I get my things? Drop the mic.
Mic drop.
A bunch
I
of
don't,
things he stole falls out of his pocket.
yeah, all the Corona falls out. I don't think we need to worry about that so much.
Then absolutely, I will take you up on that offer, da.
I just give him a pat on the chest. Rest, okay? Rest. Like real gentle, not like a whack whack.
Yeah. Right in the wound.
And I'll turn to Vendela and I'll say, and how about you?
Oh, well, I was going to go back to Uppsala where my father is, but I suppose if you're in... Where is your society located anyway?
Happens to be in your neck of the woods, actually.
Oh, well, if you don't mind having a visitor or a friend over to study in your library at all, I'd be happy to stop by and help out and maybe find a way to travel a bit more in a safer manner.
Of course. You're always welcome. And if you want, I could make some connections with you to the Hellstrom Society. They could always use good people.
Even
The
one
war out
with
there
the
with the
little-
Vaesen isn't exactly over, so we'll have to figure out what the next moves.
Would they let me around if they knew I'm kind of... Well, I'd rather them not know, but, like, do you foresee any issue with the whole... And she kind of tugs her hair back, and you'd see her ears have the slightest point to them that she hides.
Well, I think your secret's safe with me.
Okay. Well, as long as we just keep it to everyone here who knows, I think then we shouldn't have any problems. Right?
Right.
Okay. Then I would be happy to continue to see all of your faces.
And so you will, as soon as you're ready to move with demonstrations of the doctors, he'll be able to kind of get you on your feet a little bit and get you ready to move. There will be a group of sailors that will come from the town. They've managed to find a couple of dog sleds They don't have dogs, but they got a couple of sailors pulling them, so they will come and get you. And you will notice that someone is conspicuously absent at this point from the proceedings, and that is Thekla, who appears to have disappeared. You will be brought back to the town and then eventually to the boat just in time as the ice has begun to melt. And as you are crossing the final few meters of the ice and returning to the boat where all of this started, and you see the captain and some of the other guests, including Miss Olin and some of the others that are waiting and waving at you as you are returning, you see coming off from the mainland in the distance another boat, one that has a very big metal prod in the front, and you can see the ice being broken and shattered and just sort of flying off on all directions as this ice breaking boat comes towards you. And here will end our little adventure on the ice in mythical Scandinavia, with you succeeding in solving the mystery of the ice and releasing the people from it, and avenging the poor unfortunate Seithkonas who were caught in this, just trying to defend their land. From the speeches now, there are few mysteries left to solve. Of course, there's Ireland that might call to Vendela at some point for various reasons. And there is the fact that there appears to be, as you have noticed, Elias, this company, Loch Spindler, which was behind the events here and appears to have been behind the events that you, or some of the events that you were embroiled in the first adventure that you did. So there's something going on with this particular company out there. So who knows what they're up to and what they're doing. But that'll be an adventure for another day, as you have succeeded this one and managed to solve the mystery. Thank you so much. You were all absolutely wonderful. It was a great ending. That root beer bottle will go down in infamy.
Yes.
Amazing.
As well as the 2 near deaths, but just managing to sort of get by it. So that was quite a lot of fun. I would like to give you all a last. Oh, you have a cat too now, by the way.
I was gonna say Venla's scooping up that cat.
Yeah,
if it's
someone has a
the
cat. Someone has a cat. It has a little bit of a weird aspect to it, and you're not sure, but you think it sets off your sixth sense once in a while, Elias. So you'll have to keep an eye
Very
on
cool.
that cat.
You want to be a bookstore cat?
Which
You
is
could
funny
go
because
wrong.
where I used to work, there was a bookstore called the Black Cat. There you go. So maybe that's Vandella moved to Sherbrooke in Quebec and opened this bookstore. Thanks so much. So let's go around again and give you all a chance to tell you who you are, what's going on, where people can find you. So with Stephanie, who now has a cat.
I do.
Hello, Stephanie. So tell us all the things.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I played Vendela, and she's doing pretty well now. She's got a cat. She feels more confident, and she's got a bunch of friends. So it's all in all a great experience for her. It could go with some less near-death experiences, but that's Vaesen. So this was an awesome game. Thank you so much for having me. I've had a blast playing this, and hopefully maybe we can all come together again in the future at some point.
Absolutely. So there's more adventures to be had.
Oh, yes. And you can find me at SBrownWrites on Twitter or under the handle Lavenza in the Superior Adventures Guild or the Live from the Apocalypse Discord channels.
Cool. Thank you so much for having come down and played Vaesen with me again. It's always a pleasure. And, you have a cat for your troubles. There you go.
Yeah. Go wrong.
Javante, who finished Broken but Not Out. And yeah, that root beer bottle man's going to go down in the in history here. It was a great moment.
I want to make a T-shirt of that. Just a Molotov cocktail with a root beer bottle.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, this was fantastic. I'm Javante. You can find me on social media on Twitter only at Javante, JHEB as in Victor, AUNTE. You can catch up with me tomorrow at around the exact same time over on Initiative Order, where I'll be playing Power Rangers as Dior the Black Ranger. Check that out. Also, if you keep an eye on my Twitter, around WrestleMania season, I'm going to be doing a booking league shout out again. So if anybody wants to take part in a pro wrestling draft and book your own show, feel free to let me know, as I'm going to get that posted up pretty soon. There's also a couple other projects that are coming down the pipeline in the coming months. So just keep an eye on my Twitter feed for that.
Cool. Thank you so much, and good luck with all these myriads of projects you get going on. And Kay, what's up, Kay? You have all the cats already. That's why I didn't give you the cats. You have all of them.
I figure, maybe Vendela can stay over at my place. I'm sure I have a lot of room as a lifelong bachelorette.
I don't know. That doctor.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I
things
think
change.
you'll just what did they call it back then? Keeping company. You'll just be keeping company
Yeah.
with the doctor. Me, like just going on strolls and having tea and playing chess and just
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
both just eye patching it up. And
My name is Kay, or you can find me at Caden Cosmos on most platforms now. I do lots of art, from like fiber arts like cross stitching to digital art and graphic design. I'm really happy I got to play with you folks. Marguerite was a lot of fun, and yeah, I hope I get to play with you guys again. So, thank you.
absolutely, thank you so much, Kate. It's always a pleasure to play with you. Thank you for bringing Marguerite to us. And finally, the man, the myth, the legend,
Proud of that.
Kevin.
Yes. Hi.
Elias has survived another rip-roaring adventure through the mythical
Yes.
Scandinavia.
Shockingly. No. Hi, yes, I'm Kevin. I can be found online at the socials at KevRan Games. I am the game master of the Game Night Heroes podcast, which is an audio podcast, which will hopefully soon start doing some streaming as well. Speaking of streaming, I'm currently running a 3-week adventure over on the RPG Academy every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Come check us out. Bleak is in it. He's playing a very cool water buffalo druid guy, which is awesome.
That's right.
But it is the premiere of La Notte Eterna, which is a Italian RPG now coming to America, of a land of eternal darkness and night, and some shady stuff going on, pun intended. I'm also on the Murder Hobo Inc. Incorporated stream every other Saturday, and I like doing a bunch of stuff. I'm going to be doing something else here on SAG pretty soon, but we will let Dave talk about that in the near future. But this was a blast. I always love doing stuff with SAG. I love doing stuff with you guys, and this was great to play with everybody. So thank you so much.
Thank you for dropping in again and coming playing with us. So coming up, we got a ton of stuff. We have, as usual, coming up tomorrow, Monday Night Mayhem, continuing the Lost Sands, DJ, DM. Miko, the okayest DM, Miko running in his own world of Ystera. Another excellent cast playing some high fantasy adventure. On Tuesday, we go back to the classic land of Greyhawk with DM Dave, bringing us that classic Moat House dungeon as we shuffle through that and try to find our way out. As I play in that game, that's where you'll find me next, playing in the Greyhawk game, playing my Dwarven Cleric. And on next Thursday, we don't have Shadesong. We are on break for a couple of weeks. However, next Sunday, taking up the slot here from the Vaesen for the next several weeks, will be DM Dave with his Mothership, a horror sci-fi adventure that's bound to chill some spines and just leave you breathless and dying as if you're in an airlock that has just been opened, because dark business is afoot. I am Bleakseason. You can find me at the Bleakseason on the Twitters. We will be rating. I don't know who we're rating. Oh yeah, you're in that, right? That Mothership, Kevin?
I am indeed. That is what I was hinting at. Yes, it is myself. It is Sly Sparrow, Adrian, who's been on some stuff before. RA Galaxy, Rachel, who is awesome.
Yeah,
I played with
absolutely.
her before. She's a real gem. Flam Blackmore, Tim, who is awesome role
Yeah,
player.
that's a great cast. Yeah.
And myself. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. It's horror in space where nobody can hear you scream. Oh man, it's a great system. It's going to
Awesome.
be intense. So.
All right, I look forward to seeing it. It's a killer cast. DM Dave, of course, at the handle. It's always awesome. So look forward to checking it out. You check it out also. Thank you for hanging out with us. We super appreciate it. We're going to raid our good friend Phoenixy Wacky here in just a moment. Please stick around. Give Phoenix some good old-fashioned Guild Superior love. Tune in next Sunday for Mothership. and tune in tomorrow for Eminem and all our other great stuff. Thank you for hanging out. We appreciate all of you. Thank you to Dave, our producer, for the wonderful work. Thank you to my amazing cast. It was an absolute pleasure and honor to play with you, and I look forward to doing it again. Thank you all. Have a good night, and we'll catch you on the rebound. Ciao.